Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. We are going to be playing for an awesome charity, St. Jude Children's Hospital, trying to raise funds, and a little birdie, our tech guy, Danny, just told me we're only $110 away. I can't believe it. It's been an awesome first 2 games. I'm really excited to have this group exploring the system of Vaesen with me. So thank you all for joining us. If someone could please link in the chat below, link to our Tiltify campaign if you're interested to donate, that'd be so appreciated. If not, just thank you for joining us. If you can share, it would be fantastic. Aside from that, I guess we'll do some introductions. My name is Brianna Flame. I am a sometimes game master, sometimes channel organizer here on the Initiative Order. And I am really familiar, not really familiar, I'm very excited about running the system of Vaesen. I enjoy it a lot, and I'm excited that Rene, going through all the work to organize this event this weekend, asked me to run it. So thank you, Rene. Why don't we go ahead and actually start with you, introductions.
Oh, well, thank you very much. My name is Rene Beauregard. I am one half of Dragon Rock RPG Design. You can find us on Twitter at Dragon Rock RPG or on Instagram at Dragon Rock RPG Design, where we create supplements for Dungeons & Dragons 5e. We just recently released our Warlocks, and we're slowly working on our Ranger subclass supplement, which should be coming out very soon. You can find all of our stuff on DM's Guild, where you can just search Dragon Rock RPG and you'll find all the things that we make and create over there. You can also find me at the Red Hair Inn, which I believe is the newly minted DM _screening every other Tuesday, where I play Perrin Hope Singer, a Huffling bard who's got a little a tummy ache because I have an Ublex living inside me. Come find out what happens, because it's always going to be interesting there. Thank you very much for coming, everybody. And this is for everyone who's played and will be playing with us this weekend. Like, organizing these charity events has always meant something really near and dear to me, especially to reach out to all manner of the interwebs in order for us to just bring community together. We're all part of the same community. We may as well play some games together. So thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for helping us raise money for St. Jude's, a wonderful, fantastic charity to raise funds for any kind of child disease, specifically childhood cancer. So again, just thank you all so much for coming out, and I look forward to playing.
Rolf is here. Yeah.
Perfect. Next up, why don't we go over to Christine? Would you introduce yourself, tell everyone where they can find you, and introduce your character?
Hello everyone, my name is Christine, and I am a casual gamer and tabletop regular here on the Initiative Order. You can find me here on Twitch as Slumberjane, where I play just a variety of games, and over on Instagram as slumber.jane. And today I am playing Lydia, the naive, sweet, young, would-be nun, going out into the world to help everybody and deal with her own personal problems.
Perfect. And next up, how about Jess?
Hello. You can find me at Rising Valkyrie on Instagram. I'm Jess, by the way, just in case you didn't catch that. And you can find me at Rising Valkyrie J on Twitter, even though I don't really much use it, so it's pretty much crickets and tumbleweeds. Good luck with that. And you can find me 2 nights every other week. Coming back next week on Wednesday, and on Saturday nights is on D'Angelo's channel, playing Tayar, Queen Eclipse on Wednesdays, and on a very cool vampire called Erin on Saturdays for Phoenix by Night Season 2. So come check out if you want to see more of me.
Awesome. And next up, Cori.
Hello, everybody. My name is Karina, or Cori. I'm just a tabletop enthusiast, political science major. So if you want to see all my thoughts about everything tabletop related or political science, catch me on Twitter at lovedays_, LOVDAYS_. And I will be playing Ulrika Sollander, a occultist who has a cute little cat, a knife, and also visions of her own death, because why not? That's fun.
And next up, why don't we go over to George?
Hi, I'm George W. Ambush. I play a lot of D&D. I play on Fateful Encounters with the lovely Nolan here. I play Dennis, the soft boy barbarian, every Monday at 6:30 p.m. MST. You can find me there. I also play Ulcus Nerix, the hobgoblin monk wizard cleric, and the everything else on Quest Vault every Friday at 7:30 MST. And tonight I will be playing Arvid Ulfssen, who's old. He's seen his partner die, and he is sick of these giants in this damn ass region. Can I curse here? I'm sorry if I can't.
You're totally good with cursing. It's fine.
Cool. I will accidentally do it regardless.
It's fine. Same.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining. And last but not least, Nolan.
Hello everyone, I'm Nolan. I am also over at Fateful Encounters. I am George's DM on Mondays at 7:30 Central Time for me anyway. I also appear occasionally on Wednesdays for the Bounty Board, Thursdays co-host with George on Deck of Many Fates over on YouTube. Tuesdays I may be joining the Curse of Strahd stream. I'm just all over the place, but you can typically find me online with the username Envy of the North, although I don't typically tweet out or Instagram out or post stuff to walls. I do respond and read messages though. But I too am just happy to be here and play a new game. He said Nordic horror and I was sold. I'm super stoked.
Amazing. Well, thank you all so much for agreeing to be players in this game. I hope we're gonna have some spooky, scary, fun times. Maybe minimal on the death, but no promises. So, just to start, the prologue. What I would like to do is to have each of you, one by one, go through, introduce your character, describe them, how the world sees them, and if you want, kind of their internal dialogue. That's not mandatory, though, if you would prefer not to. However, why don't you describe a normal day for your character up until they are heading back to the society headquarters? And why don't we start with Ulrika?
Right, yeah. So I would say Ulrika's about 5'7", 5'8", kind of dirty blonde hair. Definitely has probably not seen a brush in a while. Probably just kind of uses her hands to comb through it. Has a little scruffy cat around her neck named Percy. Lots of jewelry on, piercings, all sorts of things. Wearing a lot of black, and probably has been up for a while, way before the sun has risen, dark circles under her eyes. Having visions of your own death will probably do that to you. And I would say she's probably working on a letter to her friend, her bodyguard, Valerio. Just kind of writing about what's happened, maybe any visions she's seen. Would probably grab, some food, some breakfast, definitely a cup of coffee, before she probably gets, to the train station pretty early, wants to be on time, kind of just enjoying the day.
Perfect. And Ulrika, as she's going throughout her morning, her normal to and from, petting Percy as he's probably moving around, trying to disrupt as much as cats do, you do find yourself abnormally early to the train station. How about next we go over to Lydia?
Okay, so Lydia is very small, like in an unnervingly thin way. Maybe a little bit gaunt. She has short, curly white hair and dresses very plainly, just like a gray habit dress with the hood always pulled back and gray beads. But she has a very cheerful attitude about her, despite looking very sickly from the outside. And generally, she was taught to keep a very strict routine in her life. So up very early, prayer time, head to wherever she's needed. Usually it would be whatever local like hospital or hospice might need somebody to talk to or confess to. She's not an officially ordained nun or priest of any kind, but it often brings people comfort in her experience. And it, as soon as she got word that she needed to return or go somewhere, she would head directly to the, after wrapping up, she would head directly to the station.
And how about Rolf?
Rolf is often roaming places because he's got nothing fucking else to do. He leans a little bit on his walking stick, and his crowbar hangs off his belt. And on his other hand, he's got a bottle of liquor that he that never seems to be empty, likely because he takes it from other people's liquor bottles to refill his own liquor bottle. He just fucking hates everyone for many different reasons. And he's seen some shit. And he's tired. Really tired. As you see Rolf come around a corner, he coughs up a little bit, pulls like a ragged piece of cloth out of his pocket and looks down at it. Damn it. And closes the crimson covered cloth and puts it in his pocket.
And next, Petunia.
The Petunia is probably about 5'9", quite lanky, very slim, but you wouldn't be able to tell under her dress, her puffy dress, and it's kind of beige, maybe a bit brown underneath, like a turtleneck jumper, just something to cover, and very modest. But her hair is blonde with like curls, waves going down, and like a slight bun on top, messy bun. She tries to keep up with it, but she gets very distracted very easily. And she's probably at home, writing away with her feather and her ink, with this mysterious liquid inside. And just writing and writing, even though her hand cramps, and she just continues as if she's got no time. And at that point, she'll probably forget what time it is and lose track with her writing, and she'll probably be the last one there. She'll be late, she'll be running, and that's why her hair's always in a messy bun. But yeah, and she'll probably remember when to go and when it's time to go, because her little dog, her little Westie, Molly, will be barking at her, saying it's time to go as her clock starts pinging in the back. And as she runs, this crow, her little crow, a black crow called Arthur, flies onto her shoulder as she walks out with Molly alongside her to the station.
And Arvid.
Arvid is bent over a couple of books on the Vaesen, specifically about giants. He's an older gentleman. His hair is combed back below his top hat, and he looks a bit confused. He kind of breathes on his monocle and puts it back in his eye. He leans on a bit of a fancy cane. One of his steps not quite as long as the other, in his three-piece suit. He has a habit of brushing his beautiful chops out of his mouth, because they just won't stop going into his mouth. And he's so irritated about... What was I talking about again? Oh, right, the giants. Yes. After having watched my partner be ripped apart, I've fervently studied them, and I'm on my way to find a way to kill the bastards. Who are you people?
And maybe not last to the train station, as Petunia is still running with 2 pets, Eikthyrnir.
Eikthyrnir Lindquist, middle-aged military man, I tell you. Eikthyrnir's been up since 7 a.m., as I always am most days, and travel around teaching classes on hunting and killing the Vaesen. I tell you what, man, it's a good life, it's a good living, but, today's a little bit different. It's a little rainy, a little dreary, a little tired, and Eikthyrnir, he's been dealing with some anxiety lately, a little bit short of breath. He gets a little heart racy, he has trouble speaking, because not too long ago he saw the dead rise from the battlefield. 18th century Scandinavia, it's just war-torn. There's battles everywhere. He's been living war his whole life, but man, this is it's really got him going lately, and he put on his favorite heather gray 3-piece suit today. He likes to dress above his station a little bit, and he's accustomed to carrying his rucksack full of equipment most days, but most people don't like you carrying rucksacks through town, so he's got a little civilian bag full of his books and gear, but he kind of sits his stocky body back onto the train and just relaxes a little bit. He's tired, and he's just ready to go back to the society.
Perfect. Now, all of these people, very different paths of life, incredibly so, one would even argue, all have something in common: the sight. Now, I would like to start by reading a nursery rhyme about people with the sight, called Thursday's Children. Monday's child is fair of face. Tuesday's child is full of grace. Wednesday's child is full of woe. Thursday's child has far to go. Friday's child is loving and giving. Saturday's child works hard for a living. And the child that is born on the Sabbath day is bonny and blithe and good and gay. Now, anyone in the Mythic North and Scandinavia would have heard this at one point in time. Standard nursery rhyme about people who are able to see the monsters that have always been present, but not always choosing to be seen. Now, those with the sight are able to see them regardless of whether or not they want to. The Vaesen have been around in Scandinavia and the Mythic North for years, as long as humans can recall. They've lived as humans and other beings do, and the not always getting along, but occasionally so. They've had their ups and downs on how one interact with one another. And although Vaesen have always been present, few have actually seen them. That's where the society comes into play. Those with the sight are able to investigate. They're able to see what others can't, even if they know that there's whisperings of monsters out there. It's said that the presence of Vaesen may be inferred from something as innocuous as a draft in the room, or from the abnormal behavior of farm animals. So, each of you are heading back to the society headquarters. Called there for one reason or another. Maybe you've finished a recent investigation, maybe you've taken some time off, maybe you've just needed a new change of pace. So, as you hear a conductor yelling out for everyone to embark, you're able to pick up your belongings, maybe have a cat or a crow or a dog kind of meddling around your feet or fluffing their wings, and you're able to get onto the train. So as you embark on, this is a train of 3 cars. And you'll be found in 4 cars. You'll be found in the second car, which is kind of like the main passenger area. Besides the 6 of you, it's a pretty cramped quarters. There are several other people that are coming on as well, kind of trying to mosey on by, put some of their belongings. Some are handed off to an assistant who is taking some larger bags and putting them back in another storage car, in kind of leading people to different seats and allowing you to sit where you would like to. But familiar faces, maybe not. Everyone sits down and the train starts to lead forward. Would anyone like to interact with one another? Say anything?
I would say upon seeing Molly and Arthur Ulrika will definitely kind of lean over to Petunia and be like, "Oh, I see you have some animals. What are their names?"
Oh, and Petunia probably be a little bit flustered, but writing in her book, constantly, with not stopping, no eye contact. But you'll see her gaudy makeup, the bright blue-green eyeshadow, and the bright red lips. She's just going at this book, and she'll not even look at you, but say, "Oh, that's sorry, yes, I'm a bit carried away right now. That's Arthur," and I kind of like momentarily point towards the crow, and then that's Molly, and Molly will be like lying on the seat next to me, kind of just with her head rested and but wary. It's like kind of like a side eye on you.
Definitely gonna try and reach out to pet Molly, like very slowly. We'll try and scratch Molly a little bit.
I say, she'll be better. She'll be friendly. Just let her sniff your hand a little, and she'll get used to your scent. She'll be fine. She won't bite. Yeah.
As the interaction between the animals and pet owners is occurring, would anyone else like to do anything? This train ride, I should mention, is anticipated to take a few days worth of travel. There is an additional car set aside with rooms for each passenger to sleep in if they so need to, but you expect that there's going to be, including today, 3 days travel.
Arvid would look to Eikthyrnir. I enjoy the suit, he says, kind of like closing one eye and looking at you through the one bespectacled eye. It's fine make.
A keen eye for the designer, I can tell. It's quite the suit. Do you like it? And he kind of models it a little bit.
Yes. He says, kind of off-put by your level of energy.
I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Let me just dial down the energy level a little bit. You know, I get used to speaking in front of crowds. Is that a little bit better?
Yes, much better.
You
He
would
kind of
notice-
like look.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Arvid.
No, go ahead.
You would notice with some of the louder moments of that conversation, there's a man sitting across, probably looks like he's in his late 20s, like slightly balding, reddish blonde hair, thick glasses. He kind of just, it's just like this heavy sigh and is like leaning into a book more frequently and just like trying to cover his ear a little bit from the noise.
Oh, I have that effect on people. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, hold on a second. I'm sorry. Do you have a problem?
The man kind of looks up over the glasses, looks over, sits up again. There's a woman sitting next to him as well, also probably late 20s. She has freckles all over her face, blonde hair. They're both very well dressed. She definitely seems like she's a bit more open to discussion than he is. He barely even acknowledges the conversation that's occurring. And she kind of glances over, puts her hand on his knee. She's, "I'm so sorry. My husband's just not feeling well today."
I would appreciate if he kept his opinion to himself, whether it's through, making grunts, sighing a little too loud, because people are going to have conversations, whether he likes it and he looks at the red-haired gentleman, probably staring daggers into him, or not. And if he has a problem and he turns back to the young lady, you both can get out of the conversational area so that the people who are more sociable can enjoy themselves.
And there's another 2 individuals who are sitting a few seats up. A man turns around, like really big, bushy, white beard, handsome, probably late 40s. "If it's a problem, I can switch with you guys. I really don't mind." And the man with the glass kind of looks up and grabs a small bag that he had to the side and kind of indicates that they're about to switch. So they start moving between the two. This man comes and sits near you and probably a bit taller than Rolf is, but sits down, has a big smile on his face. Well, some people just don't know how to be social, do they? Oh, come on, Lisa, please. And he'll kind of move some of his stuff over, and a young lady sits next to him. Well, how are you folks doing today? My name's Clint, and he extends his hand.
Rolf looks at his hand, just kind of looks back up at him, watches the hand from Eikthyrnir just kind of like sneak in. Going over here now. And he just kind of like gets up from where he was and walks away.
Oh, nice to meet you. What's your name, son?
Just call me Lindquist.
Lindquist? Nice to meet you. Again, I'm Clint. This is my daughter, Lisa. We're just heading back to Uppsala. Where are you little folks going?
Oh, we're going back to the society, just heading back from our travels.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Or, you all, he's kind of like indicating you and Arvid. Are you guys traveling together?
Is there any kind of indication that, like, do society members, like, wear a pin or, like, a badge? Or, like, do we know that we're all members of the society?
Typically not any type of, like, pin or badge denoting that you're a part of the society. There may be mention of it. People are familiar enough to know that there are those with that are investigating. So if you mention it, there would be some sort of familiarity.
Gotcha. No, just met this man. He took note of my designer suit and, of course, had to pay compliment.
Yes, quite. It's fine make.
Oh, it is very nice suit, actually.
He kind
And
of
for those that don't know,
into space. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Eikthyrnir's poor, like really poor. He really likes this suit, though. Like he spent a lot of money on it. It's very unwise purchase on his part, but it makes him feel good.
Good, treat yourself. And he kind of pulls out a decanter and.
One of the assistants who is walking between the carts comes in, sees the decanter, as, would anyone like any beverages? We do have some aboard the train. I apologize. We really don't expect you to be drinking your own.
He just kind of points to his own decanter.
Perfect. What about you, Miss? He'll look at Petunia.
Yes, can I please have a glass of white? Just a glass of white wine.
Yes, I should be able to procure that. Yes, sir. And he's
Strong.
Okay. I think I have something for you.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Neil look towards Lydia and then also to Ulrika.
I'm fine with something strong as well. Whatever you have.
It takes Lydia a minute to notice she's being talked to because she's just been kind of head against the glass of the window of the car and rubbing the beads around her neck. And she'll be like, no, thank you.
Okay.
And I'll put my hand up and I'll say, I momentarily look up from my book and I'll say, can I also please get some food and water for Arthur and Molly here? And also, I'll pay for all of it. Don't worry. It's okay. Just let me know how much.
Oh, yeah, yes, absolutely. I'll get your traveling companion some as well. And I'm sorry, sir. And he'll be looking towards Fitzgerald. Would you like something as well?
Do you have anything fruity?
Fruity?
Yeah, sweet, sugary.
We have. I have some fruit juice. Normally that's for the children, but I'm more than happy.
Yeah. I may have a child with me. I'll take a fruit juice.
Okay.
And with the cat, like anything. Just I might as well.
Well, I'll kind of look at Percy. What do you want? Meows back. He'll take just some water.
All right, perfect. And he'll go around to the remaining passengers on this particular car, to the 4 who you've spoken with. There's a female figure that's a bit further up that hasn't really interjected in the conversation so far. There's some movement around the car, and in a few short minutes, beverages are brought out and handed out to each of you. And a small piece of paper is handed to Petunia as well with the total amount for the bill.
And I'll put however much it is, out of my little pocket that's hidden in my dress, because I built this from my pockets. I'm gonna take some coin now and put it on the bill and just slide it back over to him.
So he'll take it and thank you so much. If anyone needs anything, please let me know. We do have your cabins, of course, to the back, or sleeping areas for everyone. The number should be notated on your ticket. And we do also have some extra areas for storage above and behind the sleeping areas as well. So just let me know if there's anything I can do. And
if you see the bill itself, it might have like a slight spot of the ink she was writing with that had kind of gone onto her hands as she was handing it over, and it is a deep crimson color of sorts.
Awesome. You'll almost notice that like there's something that's like sticking to his hand. He'll grab his finger, kind of start wiping it off on his pants and continue forward. But as it stands, you all did arrive fairly early in the day to the train station. It's going to be a long trip. For expediency's sake, is there anything you would like to do before turning in for the evening?
Probably just gonna enjoy my book.
And my fruit juice.
Arvid will absolutely be trying to offer you the decanter of straight liquor repeatedly. Like, even if you say, no, I don't drink, he will still just kind of keep offering it every like half hour or so.
Come on, just a little.
And he's going to overpour.
Oh my, okay, it's gonna be that kind of night, I see.
Hey, and as the train is moving forward, everyone's been probably somewhat familiar with having to travel by the train system. It's comfortable, if a little cramped due to the number of people and animals that are aboard currently. But as it gets darker out earlier in the day, being very cold and dark early in the Mythic North this time of year, everyone's able to turn in for the night. So, let's start with Eikthyrnir. Is there anything in particular that he would be doing prior to going to sleep?
I think he would be, as a sort of military man, just kind of like, he's very routine oriented, so he probably has some kind of bedtime routine, whether it be meticulously folding his clothes and organizing his bag and just setting things so they're just right for the next day. But otherwise, he wouldn't be journaling or anything like that, just kind of everything in its place.
And Petunia?
She would probably be trying to top up her ink pot, lying in the bed with a slight nick in her finger as she's trying to top up as much as she can before she passes out.
And Lydia?
Lydia would actually most likely be staying in the passenger car. She does everything that she can to avoid going to sleep. And if she does go to sleep, she tries to stick to her routine, wake up at 5 as normal, but get as little sleep in between that time as she possibly can. She does, it's just focusing on anything else other than what she needs to be doing. She's daydreaming, thinking about happy thoughts as much as she can, and fighting off the urge to go to sleep for as long as she can.
So, Lydia, I'm going to have you make the first check of the game, and it's going to be a vigilance check.
One success.
One success? Perfect. I will keep that in mind. We'll come back to that. Next up, let's go to Rolf.
Well, apparently, even though there are at least 2 individuals on this train that are of equivalent age to me, they all act like children. So Rolf is actually the only person on the train who doesn't have a ticket because Rolf doesn't need a ticket anywhere. So what Rolf is doing is he's actually checking the seams for all the windows and the doors, making sure everything is safe and secure. Because if he could get on the train, so could anything else. And then by the time he finishes doing that, everyone else is in their rooms, and of course he does not have one, so he is sleeping in the social lounge car.
And I'm gonna have you also make a vigilance check.
All right. It's 2 successes.
Perfect. As you were going through and checking the seams, everything seems as though that they've taken care of this particular car. It's in good condition. It's seen a little bit of wear and tear, but you go through the entire process, and as you're sitting down getting comfortable, and you see a woman that's walking by that seems incredibly familiar to you, one you would recognize as a past associate, Viola.
Now, hold on a dang minute. Vi, where the hell do you think you're going? And what the hell are you doing?
Rolf, oh my god. I barely even recognized you. You look like shit.
Thank you. You look lovely too.
You don't gotta lie, man. I look like shit too. All of us do.
Well, I mean, we live a very particular life. How the heck did you get on here?
Yeah, and she kind of sits down in a seat nearby you. I mean, it just, do we do? People don't really pay attention anymore with these ones. At least I feel like going to Uppsala is super simple. I haven't paid for like my last 3 trips.
Paying too close attention to what you're wearing or what, and he points down to where the rooms are, what they're wearing. They're paying attention to the baubles and the canes and all the fancy stuff, and they get so distracted. It's so easy. And he like hands her the bottle.
You're just as good as you were, man. And they say age would get to us. I don't see it.
No, you never. Are you on your own, or are you with the pub?
No, I haven't been with the pub for a bit. Actually, probably been a year or so at least. I've just been going solo. I mean, some of them are a bit stick in the mud. Age got to them.
Yeah. No, those old bastards don't want to change. Sorry about that.
You catching that bug that's been going around? I've been lucky. I haven't gotten sick in a bit, despite the, if you will, maybe just kills all of it.
Yeah, I guess you can count yourself lucky. No, I just a bad cough, old age and all that. And then when he drinks the bottle, a small stream of red carries out from the bottle, like from his mouth and into the bottle.
I'm gonna see if she notices that. She doesn't appear to notice as that occurs.
Wipes his mouth. Yeah. So, are you going up to look for anything in particular?
Are there a couple things going on around there? Big events? Might be a good place to scope out.
Bigger
holiday and all that.
Oh, okay. Anything I should know about?
Man, they got a festival up there this time of year. Pretty good. A lot of like the, hoity-toities go up there and empty out their wallets. So it's simple. I don't know. The guy with the glasses, kind of a dick earlier. Like, I was kind of watching him. He doesn't seem to exactly have an issue with money.
I bet you could get him.
Think so?
Yeah. but you could get him to drop some serious coin on maybe some sort of snake oil or something.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good. Shit. You got any vials on you or anything?
And he like pats
know.
himself. No, I just got the normal stuff. Just the stick and crow.
Ah, got it. Well, I could probably find something somewhere in the storage cars.
Yeah.
So I'll try it. But,
Yeah, just keep your eye open. You'll find something.
Fair point. Well, I know I don't think I'm gonna try to sneak into a room. So I guess being cozy up here tonight.
I mean, and you can Rolf's very pale complexion roses up just a little bit. Sure. I mean, I wasn't expecting any company, but you, by all means, you do what you want to do.
Perfect. Seems good. This is nice. Normally, I'm really bored. People don't really.
Yeah, I mean, we got history, so it makes it easier to talk to. I mean, there's this one woman who keeps staring off into the distance, wearing that goddamn faith garb. I don't know what she's all about, but
I noticed that, like grabbing at it a lot.
yeah, she grabs at her beads and just like off in the distance, not paying attention to nobody. Out of everyone, it's the quiet ones you've got to be careful with.
Yeah. Well, keep an eye on her too, I guess.
Yeah, I will. Anyway, I got to turn in.
There. Sounds good. Don't mind me. And she's gonna kind of scoot over to an adjacent seat and like kick her legs up a little bit and start adjusting her hair so it's more comfortable and pushing it up against the wall.
Rolf falls asleep with the bottle underneath his neck.
And next up, let's go over to Ulrika. What would Ulrika be doing prior to going to sleep?
Yeah, I would say she's probably kind of just walking back and forth through the cars. Probably has like a sheet of paper that she's just writing on. Again, just finishing up that letter to Valerio. Probably occasionally petting Percy. We'll probably glance at Lydia and Rolf and just kind of be like, okay, sure, whatever. But just kind of keep walking. Again, kind of seems like she's trying not to fall asleep.
And then Arvid.
Arvid is kind of, he's clutching his book from the bottom, keeping it open, and in his other hand, he's got the decanter kind of grasped in his hand, and he has been reading this. He appears to be reading this book, but he hasn't turned the pages in a while, and anyone who is paying attention would see it appears to be a photograph of him and his partner by the ocean, a reminder of happier times. And he sits there staring at it until he passes out, right there in the seat, snoring obnoxiously loud.
So as everyone's going through the motions, having discussions, unexpected reunions for some, Eikthyrnir. As you fall asleep, you're seeing an open field in front of you. Thick fog and smoke surrounding you, almost suffocating. Eventually, it begins to dissipate. And as it does, you see bodies slumped on the ground. You hear the sound of gunfire and screams echoing around you.
Oh, God.
And suddenly, all is silent. About 15 feet ahead, a figure begins to rise from the ground, bloodied and pale, and its head turns towards you, and its bright red eyes meet with yours. Petunia, you fall quickly into a comfortable sleep. Dreams are all too welcoming, as they normally are. Memories of stories you've written are replayed through as though the experiences were real. And you last find yourself back in your home. You're sitting on a grand couch covered in blankets, your feet lightly touching a fur rug. In front of you, a grand fireplace. The warmth on your skin familiar. But the heat increases. And you feel a small bead of sweat begin rolling down your forehead, and the smell of copper fills the air. The taste becomes overwhelming in your mouth before all the light around you is extinguished. Lydia, as you begin to rest, you close your eyes, and you believe you hear the rustling of movement outside your room. There's some hushed whispers, and a sudden thud against the door following a flirtatious giggle. The sound of the door for the room next to yours opens, and you hear 2 sets of footsteps enter before the door is shut. Oh, sister, I hear sinners. Don't you want to purge them?
No, I don't even know them.
Sister? What, you're not even letting me have fun. I want this.
Sister Aggie said that you have a tendency to take things too far.
Sister Aggie said this, Sister Aggie said that. Oh, well, Sister Aggie, I don't give a fuck about Sister Aggie. Those are sinners, Lydia.
You don't know? What if they're married? They can do whatever they want.
Married? Did you see them? They weren't even on this train together. Whatever, Lydia. You don't let me have any fun. Quit hugging at those beads around your neck. I hate those beads so much. Those damn beads just keep me in here, and I don't like it. Just take them off.
It's the only thing I'm allowed to wear that's mine. So, no, I think I'll keep them on tonight.
Lydia, that's really sad. Rolf, your muscles are sore as you're getting settled into this seat, and despite laying your head down and closing your eyes, a dull ache continues to persist in your throat and behind your eyes. Sleep welcomes you fondly, and as those outside your immediate vicinity may hear a steady snoring, your senses are taken over by something completely different. What were warm blankets around your body are replaced by the feeling of sticks and leather. This pungent and foul aroma fills your nostrils. Everything around you is dark, and your body feels as though it's being pushed in on all directions. Light fills the area, and as you look up towards the source, you see a familiar face. You see tusks, large ears, and warty skin. And notably, one less eye than the last time this face was seen. And it peers down at you through this light source. A cackling laugh follows as a large hand drops a figure, and it falls towards you, and it screams. The body turns in the air as it's falling 30, 15, 10, 5 feet away, and you see that this figure is you. Ulrika. A whinnying sound echoes around you, and you see a tall man about 15 feet ahead, leading a large horse with an iron bridle. Suddenly, your vision starts to blur, and the man in front of you falls to the ground, and a single coin is rolling towards you. Your vision gains focus once more, and you see the horse standing upright on its rear feet, just as it brings down hooves on top of you. You fall to the ground, blood trickling down your face, as that single coin topples over, resting between you and Valerio. Arvid. Your rest is uneventful at first, though quick to fall asleep. As your eyes open, you hear the sound of wind coming from the window near your bed. Standing up to close it, the cold air hits your face, and moisture from the snow outside causes your vision to blur. You wipe your eyes with one hand, using the other to close the window. And as you open your eyes, you swear that just for 1 second, you see 2 glowing yellow eyes in the woods moving outside of this moving train. But the next morning, early in the morning, the group is awakened by a blood-curdling scream. And I would like for us to take a break at this point. So thank you all so much for sticking with us for the first half of this. I heard from another little tech birdie that we've already hit our goal at this point.
That's what I saw, yeah.
I'm excited. I'm so stoked. It's an awesome charity, so thank you all for watching, for supporting, donating, and sharing. We're at $545, and we still have half of this game and a game tomorrow, Morkborg. So thank you all so much. We will be gone for about 10-15-ish minutes, but please, if you can, join us because we're just getting started. Thank you all. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for waiting with us while we were refreshing, decompressing, hoping we don't die by Vaesen today. But we are back after our break. So just a quick recap. This unlikely group of investigators, as you will, definitely not connected by any ways other than the fact that they are Thursday's children. Having the site and are now aboard this train in order to get back to Uppsala, where the society headquarters are located. Each of them had turned in for the night, had maybe not the most restful of sleep, but awoken early in the morning by a very loud scream. Those who are in the, because I believe some people were in different sleeping arrangements, whoever was in the third car, which is essentially the hallway of sleeping rooms, this would be a lot louder for you than for those in the second car, as it sounds as though it's coming from just the end of the second, almost to the third, where there are, just the end of the third, back to the final car, which is essentially storage. But everyone is awoken. What would you like to do?
I would pop up immediately, and as Molly is probably barking, and Arthur the crow is probably cawing of sorts, and a lot of ruckus coming from my room, and I kind of shoo them towards the door as I brush out of there and run towards the screen, wanting to help whoever's there or what's happening, see what's happening.
Okay. And as that's happening, is everyone else also moving that direction, or are you doing anything else in particular?
I'll go with the flow of the crowd.
Arvid is mostly looking around confused, trying to figure out if that was in his dream or not, as he's still kind of slumped over in his chair, kind of jerks awake, and unless the other people from the car are hurrying back towards the other car, he probably won't move, but if he sees, then he'll kind of look down and see if he can see what's going on.
You see there's one woman who was slumped over in a chair and is kind of looking over the corner. She's not getting up immediately. She seems to be trying to actually stay out of anyone's line of sight. Rolf, you would recognize this as your associate, if you will. Was speaking with you, and she's kind of peering over but not standing up at this point. You do hear a door open and close as Petunia begins heading towards the back of the third car. And Petunia, as you are quickly getting out into this area, initially, would you make a vigilance check for me?
Yes. Possibly. Vigilance. Okay. Right, that is that many dice, I believe.
Oh, that's so many.
That's a lot.
Okay, that is 2 successes.
2 successes? Fantastic. So as you're stepping out with, you have, dog alongside you, crow that's somewhat trying to not get in your hair, but failing and just definitely messing it up more as you're going through the doorway. You are stepping forward and you notice that there's just a little cat that's running by. If you had not seen it, you would have tripped. It's kind of hurrying by, trying to get out of the way. Your dog kind of looks at it initially, kind of starts growling a little bit, but follows you.
And Molly, this way.
Molly's ears kind of perking up, oh, okay. And as you turn and look, you're heading towards the end of this car, and you're seeing a familiar woman you'd seen earlier. This would have been Lisa, the younger woman who was with the older gentleman, Clint. She's standing in the middle of essentially this hallway, and her hands are shaking. And as you get up closer, you're seeing that there's a figure on the ground, bloodied, not moving. And I'm going to need you to make a fear check. So, how fear works, essentially when you're facing something that would be considered a terrifying sight, something much like a mangled dead body, I will need you to, first and foremost, you're going to be deciding whether you want to tackle the situation with logic or with empathy. So the attribute value will indicate how many dice you're going to roll. And because you do have some other people that are in your immediate vicinity, who else was in the this third car, as a reminder? Ulrika was, I believe, Eikthyrnir was, am I correct?
I think so, yeah, if I can visualize it correctly.
Perfect. And Lydia, were you also in?
No, Lydia would have at this point still been in her room.
Okay, perfect. So you are going to get a bonus due to there other people being in the same area. So you will also get to. You're probably going to roll several dice actually. So you're going to get +3 additional dice.
Okay. I'm gonna choose empathy.
Empathy. Okay.
Yeah. So I roll the number it says next to my empathy, correct?
Yes.
Plus the 3. Okay. I'm gonna have to roll some extra dice. Wait, hold
I love that sound.
on. So ASMR. And then how many more? I can't remember. Right. This one's yes. Perfect. That's 2 successes.
So all you need is 1. Essentially, this particular site, you're seeing this unfortunately very unsightly body that is laying in front of you. You see a mess of long blonde hair that's strewn across, and an arm that's extending in a direction it should not be. You see tears against the flesh, and a pool of blood that's starting to grow. And you see Lisa standing right in front of you, and she's shaking. Her face is white.
Okay. I turn to Lisa, because I would have heard her name right from the interaction earlier.
You would,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So I say, Lisa, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, darling. It's okay. Just breathe. Just breathe. Molly, can you please calm our friend here down, please? And I'm gonna like shut the door for the room quickly, just so she doesn't have to look at it.
Okay, so this body is in the middle of the hallway.
Oh, okay. I thought it was in her room. Right. Okay. I say, Lisa, please, would you return to your room, please? I'll deal with this. Don't worry. Don't worry about it, darling. It's okay. Just please return to your room.
Okay, I can do that. Yeah. She starts sort of stepping back, and you can see like her legs are shaking as she's moving back and kind of feeling along the wall. Molly,
will you keep her company for now, please? Please, darling.
Sending Molly with her.
Yeah.
This Molly starts kind of following, wagging a little tail, looking up. She starts kind of like looking at him, a small smile. And she kind of looks over to the side as a door opens and closes, and her father's standing there. He gasps and is immediately just looking over. If you glance over him, his face is also going very pale. He looks confused. But he goes and he grabs his daughter and kind of holds her in and saying, it's okay, you're gonna be fine. And he starts saying, let's go inside, and pushing her in towards the other room.
Can I investigate the body?
Yes, so that's my status this here. So
but I'm going to put on my lady gloves and touch it rather than touch it myself. Of course.
so yes, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay. Okay, let me remove something.
I would say at this point in time, anyone who was actively taking movement would be seeing this exact, as described, scenario in front. At this point, Lisa and her father have stepped to the side, and you do see Petunia near the body. What was
Okay, so I've got 5 dice, and I got 2 6s.
2 successes, okay. So when you're investigating the body, would you describe to me what you're looking for, what your character's mindset is with this?
Yes, so I'd be looking for what might have caused it, and obviously if there's a pulse still. But if not, then trying to find what had killed this person, or how.
Right, so as you go through and pressing against her neck to try to see if you're getting a pulse, you don't see there's any movement in her chest, there's no pulse. It's almost as though the eyes that are still open are just vacant. There's nothing behind them. As
I'm gonna close the eyes, by the way, just
eyes. Yeah. As you're looking at the body, it's definitely appears as though there was a great amount of force that was taken against this person, and there's blood that's kind of pooling out from here, and you're noticing that it appears to be tears of the flesh that look like claws. Mm-hmm. And even almost as though there's an area that looks like there's a bite to it.
But I recognize these.
You would definitely recognize that some of the indentation when Molly's maybe played a bit too rough with you, there's similar bite pattern.
So some form of beast.
Yes, this definitely does not appear to be something that a human physically caused.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to try and evacuate everyone into the second cart. If like everyone that's still in this cart, the third cart, I'll just be like, "Oh, we could have a party in the second cart. If everyone wants to move with me, this way, this way, this way." And try like knocking on doors to kind of usher everyone into the second cart, and except for the party I was with, just trying to get our slot into the third cart, but everyone else, like the general public, into the second cart.
Understood. So the other people that were in this part were Lisa and Clint, the father and daughter, who you just saw enter into a room as she's needing some time alone at this point. And then as you're kind of knocking against the doors, you hear rustling, and not of any of the other individuals that are Thursday's children. A man kind of opens the door, and you recognize him as the slightly balding, reddish blonde hair man with thick glasses, and he's kind of looking at you, and then he's glancing around his room, and he looks confused, and he looks out, and he sees the body on the ground.
And I'm gonna quickly like direct him away from it, like looking away from it towards the second cart, and I'm gonna say, "There's nothing to look at, sir. There's nothing to look at. Don't worry, your pretty head. If you just want to move this way with me," and I'm just gonna kind of link my arm in his, like as like a lady, you know, and then kind of just gracefully walk him towards the second cart.
Understood. So this is going to require a check. I'd like you to make a manipulation check.
Then I'm going to use my inspiration instead, because I'm a journalist.
Good memory.
Yes. And that is how much? I get to use 8 times.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's that, and then I need... Perfect. Okay, so that is 3 successes.
Right. So with that number of successes, say, given the circumstances, I'm going to say you probably recall this. The man that you currently have in front of you, who is looking confused and then initially looking at the body, is the husband of that deceased individual.
Ah,
He
I see.
has already seen the fact that his wife is now dead on the floor. And he freezes. And it's not so much that he's listening to you as he appears to not really be doing anything at this point. He's in a state of shock. And so as you're kind of dragging him, you see that his body really is just kind of going with you, but he's staring at them. But you are able to pull him as he's just looking, and he starts kind of shaking.
I'm so sorry, sir. I understand that's something very dear to you. If there's anything I can do, please let me know. 100%, I'm here. Whatever you need, I can help you. Some food, some water, something to drink, perhaps. And then I'll be here to comfort if you'd like. And then keep carrying him to the next cart.
And as you're starting to move him in that direction, now those who were still in that car, so there's Eikthyrnir and Ulrika. Lydia, you were still in your room. What would the 3 of you like to do?
I'm gonna kind of follow the lead and just go around knocking on doors, trying to get people out of the car. Just like, "Oh, there's been an accident. Come on, let's evacuate the car. Everybody, hello, come on, let's go."
What? And Ulrika?
I would say upon seeing Petunia with that man, I would kind of grab Percy off of my neck, put him down, and be like, go with him, it's okay. Before turning to the body, and I would like to use my talent as a medium to contact the dead. So what I'd like to do is basically I'll take my knife out, kind of like slice open my palm, and then place it on the body, so kind of our blood mixes, and then just kind of close my eyes and try to contact the dead.
Understood. Okay, so before we get to that, as you are approaching the dead body, I will also need you to make a fear check. So you can choose either logic or empathy. You do still have, technically Eikthyrnir is still in the areas, is helping usher people away, so you will get a bonus of +1.
Okay. Nope. Absolutely not.
With failure comes lessons. So what happens when
push
you
it.
Yes, you can if you want to push the roll. As a reminder, you will immediately suffer a condition.
Be fine, right? I won't push the roll.
Push the roll. Push the roll. Push the no.
It'll be fine. It'll be great.
So, essentially, let's see here. So you are now considered terrified. Essentially, what that's going to do is you get a choice. First and foremost, can you roll one six-sided die and tell me what the outcome is?
I'd rather not. A 1.
1? Okay, no, that's actually preferable on this. It's essentially just saying how long you're going to be staying in this frightened state. But you do have a choice between a few things. So, when terrified, you can choose either to flee. So you have to immediately be fleeing from the thing that frightens you. There's no time to pick things up or talk or to even help someone else. You just choose the nearest and fastest way out of this location. Or you can freeze. Your body's going to refuse to move. It'll be rendering you completely immobile. You cannot talk or perform any actions whatsoever. And if you're in a dark or concealed position, it would take some extra success for someone to spot you. Or you can faint. So as a sense, you're just gonna faint. You're gonna go limp and fall on the floor. Or you can attack, which would be to attacking the nearest person next to you that you would consider hostile at that point. What would you like to do?
I would say Ulrika would probably freeze. Just seeing that dead body, thinking about her own dreams of her own death, definitely just like freezes.
Okay. Right. So okay, and so as a side note, I apologize. An additional thing that does happen when you are terrified. When you become terrified, you are going to suffer the number of mental conditions that's equal to the fear value. This one is just 1. So I'm going to say with this one, the condition that you are going to be taking is going to be, I feel like this makes sense, frightened. So please mark that one as currently active for you.
Cool.
And that one will stay even when the terrified condition drops. So as you are approaching the body and initially going through to want to try to connect with the spirit of this individual, your body just tenses up on you, it freezes, and you feel like your heart is racing. You feel like every single bit of your body, you feel like as blood is pumping, it's all becoming just very heavy for you. And you stop. You're hearing kind of like the dull echo of Eikthyrnir going through and kind of helping usher people off. You hear the slight footsteps of little Percy as he's running off to the side, and a slight meow from another cat that's also nearby. Other than that, you are frozen. We'll come back to you. Lydia, what will you be doing?
So as soon as the scream sounded in the morning, the first thing that would happen would Lydia would wake up with a start and immediately start panicking and looking at her hands and staring and looking around. Is there a mirror in the room?
Yes, there is a very small round mirror that's off to the side, on like a little side table.
She's gonna look at them, like grab the mirror and look at it and look at her face and clutch at her beads, and her heart's gonna start calming down, but she's gonna hear all of the commotion outside still. So immediately, is there a window on the door? Like with a curtain or anything?
There's no window on the door specifically. The only window would be to the outside, which you see like the very quickly passing by trees and the white blanket of snow.
Okay. She would wait until she heard the commotion pass by the door and then open it up and take a peek outside. And I imagine she would see Ulrika standing down at the end of the hall and would just very quietly start kind of moving out into the hall, and she's moving a little like this as she's walking down towards where she is, and put her hand on her shoulder.
And Lydia, as you get over towards this area, you feel a pressure in the back of your head, and that familiar little voice. It's softer than it was the night before. Oh, Lydia, did we do that? Was that us?
I don't know. Was it? And she says this out loud, but very quietly.
And as you're saying that, you kind of see again Ulrika kind of frozen, but you do see the body. I'm sorry, we'll also need you to make a fear check.
Okay. That's empathy?
Yeah, you could choose either logic or empathy. And because you do have Ulrika nearby currently, you'll get a +1. And sorry, Eikthyrnir is still also.
Okay. So +2?
Yes.
No successes.
Okay. So I'm also going to have you mark the condition of frightened. And would you prefer to flee, freeze, faint, or attack?
I think she would flee.
And
I think she would run back down the hall.
Exactly. And just as quickly as you are placing your hand on Ulrika's shoulder and speaking out loud rather than thinking, your heart rate increases, you start shaking, and the only thing you know is you need to get out of here as fast as possible. You quickly turn around, not keep in mind of anything that's around you, and just run out. You hear the little voice in the back of your head start laughing. Oh, Lydia, did we do that? I don't know, did we do that? And as you burst into the second, third car, you see several people who are sitting down at this point. Petunia's over with who you would recognize as the husband of the deceased. You see currently Arvid was there, Rolf, another woman I don't think you'd been introduced to yet, and Eikthyrnir is also starting to enter into this area. Ulrika, at this point in time, I would say your fear is starting to subside. I would say you no longer are frozen. So, were you still wanting to try to use your talent?
I would.
Okay. So, could you remind me what that is one more time?
Yes. So as a medium, I can use observation to predict the future / contact the dead. And then for extra successes, it equals more info, prolonged contact, or cause spirits to materialize, while failures gives me wrong info. I could be attacked or suffer a condition.
Ooh, okay, this will be fun. So yes, once more, would you describe your process or Ulrika's process?
Yeah, so I guess after, she's like, okay, definitely lets out like a calming breath, like, okay, it's okay. Probably checks her own pulse just to be like, okay, I'm still alive. I'm not dead yet. It's great. And then she'll walk up, slice her hand open, kind of puts it on the wounds of this individual, kind of mixing their blood, and then just closes her eyes, trying to channel, and like contact that dead spirit.
Okay. So, go ahead and do an observation check.
Oh boy. Okay. Will I get a crit? Oh, okay, I did. I got 2 6.
Awesome. 2 successes. Okay. So, this will be fun. As you're sitting there, your hand's still on the body, breathing in, exhaling. It's almost as though your senses dull to what's around you. The footsteps that were happening are lessened, they're dampened, conversations seem to be not registering for you. And suddenly it's as though you feel that the chest of this body is rising, although you open your eyes and it's not. But you look before you and you see a spectral version of this woman, and she's staring at you.
Hello. I'm Ulrika.
Hi. Is that's me.
I'm afraid so.
But I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
Well, would you be willing to answer a few questions for me, and then I can help you on your way, if that sounds okay?
Yes.
Okay. I guess, first of all, is there any unfinished business, any messages you want me to pass along to people?
Could you tell Casper I'm sorry?
Of course.
I didn't mean to leave him behind.
Unfortunately, we don't always have a choice in these matters. But Casper, I'm sure, still hold on to your memory. I know that's a little comfort now, but just try to remember that.
Well,
would you be able to tell me maybe what happens? Do you remember anything right before,
I was heading back to the cart to. I think I'd forgotten something in our storage. I was trying to go back to get it, and I thought I heard someone behind me, and then I fell to the ground and everything hurt, and now this.
Do you remember any maybe smell or anything like that? Maybe a specific sound?
Just footsteps. And I think there was a cat.
Cat. Okay.
I almost tripped on it.
Unfortunately, that's the tendency with cats. Well, anything else that you maybe remember before I let you go?
I'm sorry, no.
No, it's okay. You've done plenty. I'll pass the message along to Casper. I'm sorry this happened to you.
And she kind of looks down at her body once more. In as strange as it is, it almost looks like there's a tear, and her body disappears. Spectral. Now, back in the main passenger area. It's been a minute since we've heard from Arvid and Rolf. What are the two of you doing?
After watching the quiet faith lady march very quickly back into this place, I'm eyeballing her. Very interested. I kind of shamble over, leaning on my walking stick. I give Viola a couple nods just to make sure that she keeps her eyes on the rest of the pack here. Hey. And he pokes Lydia in the shoulder. What's wrong with you? I can't hear. Are you making noise with your mouth? I can't hear you.
Did you see the body? There's a dead person in there.
Oh, there's a dead person. Okay. Did you get injured, or did just the side of the body scare the bejesus out of you?
It was just a shock. Not a sight you see too often.
Uh-huh. I bet you say that to all the boys. And then Rolf just kind of looks at the rest of the room and says, the dead bodies on the train. I don't know if any of you have any experience with that.
Oh, yes, quite. He kind of like takes his cane from his lap and he uses it as a crutch to try and stand himself up. Starts to fall over, catches himself, takes a big swig from the decanter, pops the top back on. I've seen a thing or two.
Rolf like tilts his head back and forth for a second, spins the cap off the bottle, lifts it up to his mouth and goes,
You know, I swear you are oddly familiar.
What?
Huh.
shall we? And he just kind of like leans out to the hallway and just like gestures out.
We shan't tarry. He kind of is nursing his bad leg as he goes, but using the cane, and goes past. He starts to rifle through his vest, kind of switching which arm he's using to lean on the cane with, and pulls out a book that he has on the Vaesen, and starts to flip through, having an idea that his nightmare may have been more truth than just dream, and kind of adjusts his monocle as he comes through the door, closes his bad eye. And he would like to inspect the body and see if he can compare notes to it.
Okay, so as the two of you do look at this dead body, I will also need fear checks from each of you. You can choose logic or empathy. And because you are there and Ulrika is also still currently near the body, each of you will get a +2.
Either way, I'm rolling 6 dice +2, so 8 dice. So
Oh, that is good.
yeah, empathy is 3, logic is 4. So vigilance or manipulation, either way works for me.
Would learning be an applicable skill here?
I would argue yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna get +2 from my bookworm talent. And you said +2 from them, correct?
Yes, you have two essentially allies currently in the vicinity.
8 dice. 1 success.
Yeah, just need one.
This is higher than I can count. But
That's a lot of dice. That ASMR.
was a lot of dice, but only 2 successes. Oh, sorry, 3.
3. Well, you only need 1, and so if your checks are like one of the only things you don't actually get a bonus from getting more than 1 success, so it works. Each of you are approaching the body and seeing Ulrika still over near it, almost as though she's looking out at the body, but for a moment she was looking like up above the body. And initially it's an unsettling sight, but you are able to move forward and begin looking at it. Now, I know, Arvid, you mentioned you were going to be specifically looking through some of the texts and your own notes on Vaesen. Rolf, what are you doing at this time?
Well, I have a particular experience that has perturbed me for my entire existence. So I am going to check the notable signs of trolls.
Okay. So I'm going to have Rolf, why don't you go ahead and make a investigation check?
Mm-hmm.
And Arvid, specifically looking through the book. Is that correct?
That
All
is
right,
correct.
so I'm going to have it be a, let's see here. gonna be a learning check.
Okay.
Two successes on that investigation.
One success.
One success. Okay. So to start, Rolf, because you had 2 successes for that. As you're going through, would you describe to me, like, are you turning the body over? Are you going through like the scenario, kind of like stepping to the side of Ulrika? Walk me through it.
Effectively, Rolf is familiar with like the how trolls get in and move around, and they're like how they invade the humans. So he's looking for traditional signs of entry and or exit, and then once he's scanned everything that's not the body, that's when he looks at the body and kind of determines whether there are any claw marks or deep gashes or puncture wounds that would indicate where the tusks entered. And there is usually a considerable amount of this like yellowy white saliva that the trolls leave behind. So he's just looking for that specifically.
So as you're going through the steps as described, looking at it, while it's definitely a messy site and a lot of it has already been somewhat moved, looking at like the gashes and specifically what you're drawing the most conclusion from is what appear to be bite marks. These do not appear to be anything similar to what a troll's tusks would cause. So all things considered, you feel fairly confident with 2 successes on that roll. This was not inflicted by a troll.
He says it out loud. Well, it ain't fucking trolls, that's for sure. And just like rolls the body back over.
Arvid responds, kind of skips a few pages and looks a little nervous, like somebody's gonna judge him on having been looking through his troll notes.
So as you're going through the notes and very quickly going past trolls, and you're like, what's this? A revenant? No, ghost. It's not gonna work. This may. You just have a suspicion. Well, you haven't encountered them before, so your notes are fairly limited on them. And it's been mainly from information you've gleaned from other texts that you've had to scroll down. This looks similar to a dog. Some sort of bite marks indicate it was left by a dog of some sort.
He just kind of like tilts his head, looks down at the body, and puppy.
Then much bigger. I will mention that.
Large puppy. He kind of narrows his eyes.
Large puppy?
It resembles the bite marks of a canine of some sort.
The spirit mentioned a cat, but not a puppy.
What? No.
Arvid, I'm going to have you make 1 additional learning roll.
Well, if your spirit just kind of like wiggles his fingers at Ulrika, says that there's a cat, and he's determined that there was a dog. Rolf's brain just kind of like does a flip a couple of times. We definitely have an individual who is brightly adorned, who is fitting all that description.
2 successes.
2 successes, okay. So, Arvid, as you're looking at it, hearing this conversation, flipping through your notes a bit more, there's, for lack of a better term, you feel like this is going back to like some folklore mention of Vaesen you haven't encountered, but the talk of shapeshifters in some way. specifically the tale of werewolves.
He kind of gasps to himself. Werewolf. Werewolf.
I'm sorry. Are you sure?
What? Oh. I forgot you were there, my boy. Don't sneak up on an old man like that. What?
Sorry. Are you sure it's a werewolf?
Right. No.
Fair enough. So.
Educated guess though. I mean, just look at that. He kind of like motions for like canines. He kind of like points out at some of the spots where it flesh is torn. Does it appear like tactics of like more of a canine type animal, like going for the throat and things like that?
It does. There's a lot of damage around the neck and the upper body.
Canine creatures tend to throat tear and shake and whatnot. He kind of gets a 1,000-yard stare and just kind of bites down on his lower lip.
Yeah, creatures of animalistic nature, they tend to go for what bleeds the most and the fastest.
My experience, that's the fingers, but you're right.
Yeah, I think we have a lot to look forward to right now in terms of investigating this further. There are more questions than answers at this point.
Pops the top of the decanter.
You hear a footsteps coming from behind you. And if you look over, you do notice it's the man who's been essentially the attendant this entire time, who walks up and he's like, I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to ask that everyone move back to the passenger car. I need to take care of this.
Uh-huh.
Arvid kind of like looks him up and down. Right. Kind of like looks at him and he wants to like, he's kind of looking at him suspiciously. He wants to look at like his nails and mouth.
Ooh, okay. Go ahead and make it. So this is going to be an investigation check.
Okay. Three successes.
3 successes. So as you're taking a moment to look at this individual and you're kind of assessing nails, stature, his mouth, his nails look a little dirty. There's some dirt underneath them. He probably could use with washing his hands. He's kind of almost half smiling. It appears as though he hasn't brushed his teeth this morning. It's very early. But aside from that, you don't see any suspicious markings in terms of like injuries, blood, anything of that nature.
Well, we leave the investigation in your capable hands, my boy.
Thank you very much. And he starts moving off to the side as though he's going to try to move this body as messy as it's going to be. And he starts kind of shifting and stands up. You see a small cat run by him. And he's like, oh, almost tripped on you. And goes over to a small cabinet to the side where he's able to pull out some very small towels, which definitely aren't going to do the job, but he starts kind of setting them down and trying to move.
Can I Where's the cat go? Like, do we see the cat?
Yeah, the cat's kind of just like meandering around in this hallway now, kind of following him.
So Rolf and Arvid, I'm gonna be like, cat, not my cat. The spirit mentioned a cat. I don't know if we should grab it, follow it.
You're right. We should interrogate the cat.
I'm not suggesting we interrogate an animal. I'm suggesting the cat may belong to the werewolf, perhaps.
Are you guys saying this out loud?
I'm whispering it.
Arvid is definitely speaking pretty loud about interrogating the cat, but...
Okay. So while the vigilance check of this man was not enough to notice the mention of a werewolf or anything like that, the mention of interrogating a cat, and he kind of glances over his shoulder a little bit, points, the cat? What do you want with the cat?
He drinks from the bottle in response.
Just jokes. Just jokes.
Respect your elders.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. He starts kind of moving around. The cat just sort of meandering over by him, just sits.
Rolf is gonna look down this hallway because this person died down the hallway full of rooms, correct?
Yes, like near the very end of the car.
Is there any room not opened?
Open. Currently, the only one that has a closed door would be on your right-hand side. If you choose to go and knock on it, I would say you weren't there as this occurred. So outside of character knowledge, you do see one that's closed.
All right, I will knock on the door first.
Says the knock. You hear some footsteps and door opens, and it's only partially opened. You see the gentleman you'd spoken with the prior day, Clint Holm, kind of looks out, his beard very much messed up, and he, sorry, can I help you?
Yeah, dead body out here. You hear anything other than the scream?
No, that was all I've heard. My daughter's needing some rest, so I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to get back to her.
You mind if I just take a look at her? Sounds like it's an ailment.
You a doctor?
No, I've just seen a lot of shit, so I might be able to help.
Go ahead and make a... I'll have you choose between this if it's going to be a manipulation or an inspiration.
This is definitely a manipulation.
Oh, yes. And you do hear a small dog that seems to be kind of panting near the door.
All right. No successes.
Okay. The man kind of just closes his eyes, sighs. Look, I really don't mean to be rude, but she needs some time right now. If there's a doctor out there, sure, but I mean, she's barely an adult. She's still pretty much a kid. Give her some space.
Yeah, she just needs sleep. She's just having a hard time getting down.
She saw a dead body.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right, well, and he like pulls out the crowbar and like waves it at his face, just kind of like absentmindedly, like, you keep safe or whatever. And then he slams the door in the guy's face. And then Rolf is going to go room by room and check to see if there are any like markings, because these are the only windows and doors that he wouldn't have checked the night prior.
That's true. Go ahead and just make a general investigation check.
Quick question while he's doing that. Which way did the body fall? Did it like fall into the hallway, or did it seem like they were like trying to leave the car and go the opposite way?
It appeared as though she was initially found face down. So she was heading towards the back of the car and was attacked from behind. The body initially was kind of rolled over onto its side, And so you do see some markings on the ground from that.
1 success.
1 success. Okay, so as you're going through and kind of just like taking a quick survey of these rooms, you're passing by, seeing some belongings that were left in each one. You're going through and checking the windows, some closed. One was partially cracked open, although if you attempt to close it, you see it's just a broken window. There's an issue with it. As you're going through doing the seals, you're not seeing any type of like markings, like damage that would indicate something similar to what occurred with the body.
Well, nothing in here.
Ulrika, is there something specifically you were doing while Rolf was checking the area?
I guess I want to walk over to the cats, and actually just go to like pet it, like see if it'll even let me do that, or if it'll kind of hiss at me.
The cat, strangely enough, as you're walking towards it and kind of like going down to like offer your hand to see like what it's if it's gonna be temperamental towards you or not, its tail is just kind of like going back and forth on the ground, and it notices you're there. It doesn't like hiss at you. It doesn't even really try to go through like, here, pet me. It just sits there and looks at you, and then looks back like at the man that he was following, and then at the body. Just observing.
I'll kind of whisper to the cat then, because why not? Like, what do you know? Like, is there kind of a connection there? Just seeing like if the cat will like respond.
You hear a meow.
I'll look at the man then. Look back at the cat. Welcome to a cat. Okay. I'll kind of pull back then and try and find Rolf after he's kind of been going through.
And you see Arvid standing a little too close. That's all right. Some of us do the craziest things.
Personal space would be great. Just a
Personal what?
Just take put a bottle between you, if you could.
Oh.
Just to
Yeah. See, he gets it. So, anything for you?
Well, and don't judge me here, okay?
I've already done that. Go ahead.
Okay. The cat seems to think that there is a connection between the man and the body, perhaps. The cat seems to know things, is the gist of it.
And how did the cat express this to you?
Kind of like scratch the back of her neck, like it meowed to me.
Did it?
But like in a responsive way, like not as just like a wow, like as I asked it a specific question, it meowed back.
And that warrants a confirmed this man is connected to this body.
I understand the hesitation, but like I personally have seen crazier things. You definitely seem like you've seen crazier things. So I don't get why you're being so judgmental about the cats.
It's just strange that I don't know. Okay, sure. Easy situation here, I guess. Hey, and he goes back over to the guy and like pokes him with the crowbar now. Where were you last night?
And as he's like hunched over and you're poking with a crowbar, it kind of knocks him off his balance a little bit. He's like puts his hand down and goes immediately into one of the pools of blood. I was asleep.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where were you?
I was
more irritated.
Yeah, I was in the social car drinking with a friend until I could no longer be conscious, because that's the adult thing to do. I'm gonna just keep rambling until like I can like if I see changes in his face, like I want to see because I don't have any experience with werewolves. I don't know what they're all about. I just want to see if he shows me any particular signs of aggression that would be outstanding from just me being an irritating old man.
Understood. Let's see I'll give you a choice between investigation or vigilance.
We'll take vigilance. No successes.
As you're talking at him and he's just kind of wiping off his hand with one of the other spare towels, and he looks over his shoulder and he's like, I was asleep. I got woken up by all this. This isn't exactly what I wanted to be doing this morning. Is there anything I can help you with, or do you guys just want to get back to the other car? I still have to clean all this up.
Yep. Yeah. And he looks over at Ulrika and just kind of just like widens his eyes a little bit, darts his eyes to the body, and then goes, "Yeah, no, I'm certainly gonna go back and spend time with everybody else." And he just kind of like puts his hands up with one holding the crowbar, and like turns around looking at Ulrika, just like darts his eyes at the body, and then makes his way back. And I am going straight to Viola.
Okay. So, as this is all occurring, it's been a moment since we've been back in the other car, specifically Eikthyrnir. You've been in, you just helped usher some people into this area. You do see that there is Petunia and Lydia also sitting down, another woman, and there's a man currently sitting next to Petunia. She's speaking with him. What would you like to be doing?
So I imagine this whole time he's just been kind of like, yes, there's been an accident, it's okay, just take a seat, we're gonna get it all under control, the society's investigating it, it'll be fine. And he's gonna notice Lydia and Petunia kind of sitting off to the side and like, what exactly is going on?
I'll probably be like fussing over the gentleman, the husband, and I'll be saying, it's okay. Can someone bring him some whiskey, please? Bring something heavy, something strong. And then I'll turn over to Eikthyrnir and I'll say, like, go really close so no one else could hear what happened.
Yes, tell me.
Okay, do not broadcast this, but there's a dead body in the third cart.
A dead body? No, just kidding. Oh my, a dead body, you say?
I'm going to, can you please make sure this gentleman's okay if you're going to stay here, but I'm going to, and I point towards the husband, and I'm going to say, I'm going to head into the other cart and see what's happening, because it seems that some of our friends are there, so I want to see if there's any progression of sorts.
Yes, I'll stay with the gentleman, and I'll just kind of sit down and so how are you feeling?
My wife's dead. I guess kind of his hair is very disheveled. His eyes just appear to be doing like not focusing in on the conversation.
Yes, I suppose that was a stupid question on my part. I apologize. No, I feel I must ask, is there any reason you suspect that somebody might do harm to your wife?
I don't know. We didn't know anyone here. She was a perfectly fine person. I don't a little. And he kind of giggles to himself, and it's like, but I was like, last thing I called her annoying.
Oh, well, that's rough. But I just remember all the good things that you said to her. I'm sure that'll bring you some comforting thoughts. But it's difficult times like these when you have to deal with the loss of someone. I've had my fair share of friends die on the battlefield, which in different circumstances I signed up for it. You didn't sign up for this. I can certainly understand, but it'll be okay. I assure you it'll be just fine. Time heals all wounds, as they say.
Okay. And he's just continuing not even really to look in any other direction.
Mm-hmm.
The moments when you were saying, remember all the nice things or the good things that you said, and he kind of sighs heavily.
I'm just kind of like pat him on the shoulders, like, oh, there. I'm gonna go see what my friends are up to.
And Lydia, while this is happening, what is going on for her?
Do the doors to the cars have windows? Like, can I look through the door into the car where the body was?
Yes, you can. There's a small window, but you can look through.
Okay. She's kind of watching what's going on inside. She sees, Rolf checking the doors, and she sees Ulrika and Arvid, and I think she's just like trying to determine if she wants to go back inside again, but she's mostly keeping to herself, being very quiet, possibly suspicious looking unbeknownst to her, but just generally kind of wavering by the door.
And also, for what it is worth at this point, I would say that the fear is gone, the terrified. So you are able, if you want to, make movement towards it, you can. You will still have the frightened condition, however.
I think she's just going to stay there for now. Possibly once Eikthyrnir leaves, the husband, she might go and sit down and offer if he needs to talk.
So, as this is happening, we had Petunia, who had somewhat did a gentle handoff of the husband to Eikthyrnir, was speaking with him. Lydia was already by the door. Petunia, you were heading towards the door, correct?
Yes, heading towards the door
Okay.
with Arthur.
Right, so you and Arthur, the crow kind of still following on you, gripping at your sleeve to make sure it doesn't fall off. You do get up to the door. Are you going to be like looking through and entering, or?
I'm going to not even look, I'm just going to enter. So as she likes to make her entrances, she's going to push the door straight open and say, okay, so team, what have we found? Surely we found something. No, come on. We've had this much time now. Surely we've done something. And I'll go, Molly, come here.
You hear a slight whimpering, and then some footsteps, and a door opens, and a little dog scurries out. You see Molly now back out in the hallway. And the door closes, but you are seeing Ulrika, Arvid, Rolf, and the door is currently open between the two.
I'm gonna walk up to them and I'll say, have we found anything? Discovered anything? Any information whatsoever?
Again, kind of keeping her voice low, kind of pointing at the little cat and then pointing at the man. We think that there's like some sort of connection, possibly. But he is not exactly happy that we're still here.
Let's see. I look at the cat and I was like, oh, I nearly tripped over this cat earlier. Oh my god, it would have been quite a fall.
It's a common occurrence.
Really?
Yeah, the body mentioned that she almost tripped over it as well.
Oh, I see. Oh, quite peculiar. And then I kind of like kneel down to Molly, and I kind of look at Arthur as well, and I say, hello, my lovelies. Can you do me a favor and see if there's anything up with the help? And I'll like look towards the guy who's been serving everyone and just seeing the one that's looking at the body, just kind of see if they get like a bad vibe, you know? Like animals have like this sense, so I want to see if they get a bad vibe.
Okay, I like this because you are using essentially your Mento, for lack of a better term, is assisting you in this. Go ahead and make a vigilance check with your own stats.
Okay. With my own stats. Right. Don't do me dirty. Come on. Effect. And I get to reroll. Or I get to roll some more because I didn't have enough.
2 successes?
2. I muted myself. Yeah, 2.
Okay. So as you are whispering to Arthur and to Molly, Arthur kind of like drops down, starts hopping across the floor, like looking around, and Molly kind of runs over in that direction. And as Molly's going up near the man, he moves over to the side again to allow more space for the animals to come in. And something peculiar. The cat doesn't seem perturbed at all by either of these animals' presence. You see Molly even gets like almost obnoxiously close to the cat, and it's barely even acknowledging their existence. Strange from all the interactions you've seen with cats and Molly.
Mm-hmm. And how would Molly normally react to a cat, per se?
I would say as dogs do, they're a little bit excited about it. Although Molly's a well-trained dog, when you'd said like, you know, don't go after a cat, she tends to stay with you. However, just her getting obnoxiously close, like poking at it almost with her little nose.
Mm-hmm. So I noticed that's very odd, obviously, for a reaction like that. And what does Arthur do?
Arthur's just kind of glancing at it. His little head goes off to the side. And he kind of hops back over towards you.
At the guy or the cat?
Reaction, not towards you. Arthur comes back to you.
Okay, so neither of them reacts to the man, but to the cat instead. Okay. Okay, I'll say, okay, thank you, darlings. You can come back now, don't worry, you can come back. It's okay. And I turn around, like holding my dress up so it doesn't like touch the floor, so it's daintily. And I turn to the others and I say, I think it may not be the man, but the cat itself. Ulrika, surely you know what a cat's behavior like. That cat was not normal. It didn't even jump at my dog. It didn't even jump at Molly, coming so close to it.
The cat is weird. I'm completely in agreement there.
Arvid's hearing all this, right?
Yes. I'm whispering to all of you, like the 4 of us. I say, Arvid, you're a scholar of sorts. Surely you know something. Do you know anything about what happened to the body?
Arvid, who has been 1,000 yards staring up until this point, kind of comes back and... werewolves. That's all he says on the subject.
So it's a shapeshifter?
Well, yes, actually.
So it could be the cat.
I did say, let's interrogate the cat. He says, much quieter than the previous time.
Huh.
Kind of looks over at the cat. Come here, you little shit.
So the cat hasn't moved. I'm talking to all of you. It stayed here.
Yes.
Seems so.
He did try to trip someone.
Huh. Interesting. From what you've all said to me, possibly the cat is the best lead we've got, so possibly we could take this into a room of sorts.
Take the cat into the room?
Yes, of sorts. I don't know.
I'll walk over to the cat and try to pick it up, I guess.
And you're picking up the cat, the man kind of looks at you strangely.
Don't worry about it.
What are you doing with my cat?
Getting it away from the blood? You don't want it to track blood everywhere, do you?
No, he wouldn't do that.
Well, we're just gonna move it into a room, that way you can clean up, you don't have to worry about the cat. I mean, I have a cat, so you can trust me.
He kind of looks at the cat for a moment. Okay, just keep an eye on him.
Oh, it's your cat. I see.
Well, I guess that was a bit of a. He's with the train. It's just he's always been with it. So I'm always here. I just kind of refer to it as mine.
For how long?
At least 4 years. That's as long as I've been here.
Oh, and has ever been an incident before like this? Like, I can't imagine it'd be good for your reputation.
No, we haven't had murder as one of our selling points, so.
I see. I see. So, okay. How much time do you spend with this cat? It must be yours by now, right? Correct? Like you said, I think you must spend so much time together.
Yeah, yes, I spend a lot of time with this cat.
Oh, this cat seems to be very well trained. Did you train it?
Nope, he's just always been like that.
Like standoffish and holds its ground.
I guess, yeah. As he's like still trying to like move some of the now soiled cloths away from the body.
I see. Okay, yes, we'll take care of the cat. No worries. It'll be okay. Yeah, it'll be completely fine. Thank you.
Sure. And as a note, that door was open behind Petunia. Eikthyrnir, there was mention of potentially going to see what was happening. Was that the course of action for him?
Yes, so whenever makes sense for me to arrive, I excused myself from the husband to go find out what's going on in the murder car.
As the murder car, you get over to the door and start entering just as you see four of the other travelers speaking with this man, and Ulrika's holding a cat at this point. Lydia, were you still planning on going to speak with the husband, or are you going to be joining Eikthyrnir?
I think she would follow Eikthyrnir into the other room. Yeah.
And there was plans to take the group into a separate room, was that correct? Okay. So regardless of which one you pick, you can go into one of each of your rooms to set the cat down on a bed or a small stool that's nearby, and everyone kind of get cramped into this tiny room. What is happening?
Buddy, you want to take the lead on interrogating this cat?
Interrogating a cat?
There's a lot to catch you up on.
I should say.
Just know that we just need to interrogate this cat.
Don't worry, I have experience.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You sound exasperated at the sound that you might have to interrogate the cat after you told me that it gave you the indication that it knew what was going on. I just want to make sure that you understand the just gentle hypocrisy.
Look, okay, I understand, but like I was thinking, it would just be a quick Q&A session with this cat, but now apparently it's a whole thing.
Oh, where's my apple juice?
I think that the best course of here, let me help you out there.
Oh, please do.
Overpours again.
Damn it!
This is very quaint.
Yes, I think the best course of action is to attack it from all sides. Keep it on its 10 toes.
Can we at least be quick, please? Because someone is trampling on my petticoat, and I'm not happy about it.
Where were you last night, you little shit?
What's your name? Who's your father?
That's the spirit.
Okay, so as we're yelling at the cat, I have to say this is genuinely not something I expected to say in this session while planning this. But why don't you guys go ahead and make some manipulation or inspiration checks?
I told you we were gonna get into shenanigans. I don't.
Oh yeah, we're gonna interrogate a cat. Do we go? We'll get extra. Do we get any modifiers because of our friends are all around us?
Not for this. Okay, so a choice right now. If one person wants to make the role and everyone else wants to take on an assisting role, you can grant an additional +1 per person assisting. You just have to describe how you are helping with this role. Otherwise, you'll all roll individually.
Do we want to help Arvid?
Oh, just saying, I'm very inspirational. Just saying.
Eikthyrnir can just grab the cat by the scruff and hold it, sort of angrily, shaking it at each question, answer the question!
I'm trying to probably grab the cat to relax it as opposed to just being
I really think that the chaos that this scene needs is individual roles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's shouting at the cat. Yeah. What do you know? Tell us! I want to go home!
Outside of this room must be hilarious, I'm just saying.
Eikthyrnir's got 1 success on an inspiration.
Okay.
2 successes for manipulation.
Oh.
That is 3.
Oh my.
For inspiration.
So lots of successes right now, just as a group. So as the petting of the cat, the holding of it by its scruff, the aggressive questioning of this cat is occurring. The cat just appears its fur is starting to stand on edge, and its claws are starting to no longer be retracted anymore. It is getting very visibly irritated. However, what happens next is probably not expected for a cat interrogation. The cat's form shifts. What you see in front of you now being held up is the figure of a little old man. Long beard, shabby gray clothing, and a red hat. And he's looking at you. His expression is angry. It is irritated. And he just looks grumpy. And whoever was looking at him the most, I'm assuming Petunia with the most successes, he has locked eyes with you.
Hello, sir. Wasn't expecting to be this close to you. Maybe we can give you some room. I'm just gonna ask everyone to back up a little bit. As much as we can. Obviously, it's gonna be half an inch, but everyone's gonna back up a little bit.
Eikthyrnir will hold it out further from him.
Definitely has stopped petting the cat also.
I'm so sorry, sir, for angering you, but what's your name? I'm Petunia. What's yours? This is Molly, and this is Arthur.
And Eikthyrnir, you're still holding it?
Yeah, just kind of
Okay, so as you're holding it, a little hand goes down to grab your hand and it clenches. There is an immense amount of pain that is going into your hand right now with strength that is very unexpected for a figure this small.
Okay, I'm going to try to set it down very quickly if I can.
Down. And he's sitting down.
Oh, sorry. My apologies, sir.
Stands up and he's looking up at you. What?
Petunia, you got this?
Yes. I'm gonna try and charm him of sorts. Try and be charismatic.
Okay, so as you're speaking with him, go ahead and make it. I'm gonna have this one be. I know it's not gonna matter either way for you. I was gonna say manipulation.
Yes.
Manipulation check, and also describe what you were saying to this small figure.
Wait a second. Okay. Beautiful. That is 3 6s. I am going to say, I'm so sorry. We did take you so roughly and were so aggressive towards you. We were just trying to solve what had happened. And my friend here, and I point towards Arvid, he suspected some form of shapeshifter had attacked that body out in the hallway, and you seem to be a different form of cat. So this is why if you have any information, like from what you saw last night, because according to our other friend, and I point to Ulrika, and I say that there was a cat present at her death, and that might have been you. So just if you could give us any information whatsoever, that would be greatly appreciated, sir.
And his little expression doesn't change. His brow is still furrowed. His like little fists are getting clenched. I need to get back to work.
Oh, what do you do, sir?
I take care of the train.
Oh, I see. In what way? How do you take care of the train?
I make sure it runs. I make sure it's on time. I make sure there are no messes. I make sure it works. My job is to take care of the train.
Ah, did that lady out there perhaps, get in the way of your job last night?
No.
Did you see what happened to her?
No. I heard a scream. I almost walked into her earlier, but I remember there was the other girl who was here. I saw the other girl.
What did she look like?
Tall, kind of plump, brown hair.
Huh. She was there?
I saw her in the hallway. I passed by her and I was
After the scream?
before the scream.
Oh, before the scream, I see. Did you see her walk past us, just currently, when she's now in the second car, possibly? Did you see her go that way?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Did you see that girl, that woman you described, walk towards the second car just now? After the commotion?
I think she went into her room.
Huh. I see. Do you remember her name?
No.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate your time and your cooperation. If we were to find you, where could we find you?
I'm working on the train.
So anywhere or any?
I could be up back, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'll try to shake his hand.
He looks at your hand and looks at you again. I need to get back to work. And he starts like trying to walk towards the door.
Okay, let him leave, friends. Let him leave. He has work to get to. Thank you for your time.
Such
Arvid
a
has
delightful
been-
fellow.
Arvid has been scribbling notes this whole time. Does that little man, by chance, happen to match the description of a red cap?
So I'm gonna have you make a learning check for this.
All right.
There's information. And if anyone else would like to make the check as well, if there's for any reason you feel like your character may have knowledge of this particular Vaesen.
Yeah, I'll make a learning check just to see. Let's see. Come on.
One success?
No successes.
Okay. So, Arvid, you would recognize the small little red hat, this little, what looks like a little old man with inhuman strength, and the ability to shift between the form of small animals and himself would be known as a Nisei. So they are common somewhat. Some have farmstead Nisei. They essentially just want what's best for what their job is. You can find them pretty much anywhere, and they stick with a plot of land or a location, or in this case, this is a train Nisei.
What did the daughter look like again? Because I think I've forgotten.
The daughter was taller, plump, brown hair.
Huh, I see.
Arvid kind of turns towards Rolf. Does that match the ailed young lady that you were trying to doctor? Rolf.
What?
What? The young lady that was just described, taller and plumper. Was the one that was sick in her room? Does that sound like her?
I don't know if I got a good look at her from when I was talking to her father.
No, I wouldn't say you at that moment were able to really see her. You mostly heard her. However, everyone in the cart did see her the previous day. She was sitting next to him most of the time before he started like shifting around talking with other people.
She was the one that screamed when she discovered the body. She screamed first. That was the blood-curdling scream when it awoke us all from our slumber. She's the one that I ushered into her room because she seemed to be in shock. With her father.
Mm-hmm.
Molly was in there with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know what we must do. He kind of like reaches into his coat and pulls out a crossbow. He kind of like starts to lose his balance because he had to let go of his cane.
Yes, another interrogation.
Okay, let me take charge. Like I can seem to be able to talk to people better than most of you. I've already spoken to them, so let me just speak to them.
I'm great at talking. What do you mean?
I'm with you, Arvid, and he reaches down and pulls out his rifle from his bag.
At this point, Lydia's gonna leave. She's gonna walk out into the hallway.
Can we fight
follow?
Can we fight with words first, not with our weapons in hand? Let me fight with words.
What's gonna be shoot later, just questioning with weapons in hand.
I don't know if you recall exactly how much alcohol you both have consumed over this last couple of hours, but it does not bode well for anyone wielding a weapon. Nor does it bode well for anyone on the opposite end of that weapon you're wielding, be it the person you intend to shoot or somebody else.
A good point! I believe this calls for a saber!
No. Could you...
I didn't realize that I was with a bunch of wet blankets. I suppose I may have a tendency to overreact.
If there is a party, I will poop on it.
Perhaps a gunless bayonet?
I'm gonna sigh and like shake my head as like boys will be boys and like kind of push them aside as I walk ahead towards the room that I'd ushered them into.
People were starting to move in that direction as there were talks of interrogations, weapons being brandished. That was occurring. I believe Lydia was starting to walk out the door. As you'd opened it, Lydia, the little Nisei who was waiting by the door, because was waiting to leave as everyone was arguing. You open it and he starts walking out. Just walking, staying in form. As you and Petunia exit, you do notice that there are some of the other people who are walking around, specifically a female that you hadn't spoken with yet. She was hanging out in the train car, kind of glancing over, not really paying much attention, but she looks over and she sees you. She doesn't seem to react to little Nisei, who is on the ground. She's walking away. You would assume she does not have the sight and cannot see him.
Okay. Is she the only one that's come into the train?
Yeah, she hasn't even fully Yeah, she hasn't even fully entered. The door was still open between the two. She was kind of glancing in, perusing. You do notice that the man who was cleaning up has made a bit of progress there.
Is he still there with the body?
He is, yes.
Okay. Lydia's gonna walk across the hall towards the door where the man and the daughter were. Completely ignore the lady looking in down the hall. Just kind of like give her a little bit of a glance and then move over. And she's going to stand outside the door and see if she can hear very super not suspicious looking. Stand outside the door and see if she can hear anything.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and what is this going to be? I'm going to say this one is going to be actually two parts to this. First, I would like you to roll a stealth check to not be noticed, and then a investigation or vigilance check to be able to listen in.
Investigation or vigilance. Okay, so stealth check was no successes. And then you said vigilance or investigation?
Yes, your choice.
Two successes.
Okay. So as you are listening at the door, initially you start leaning into it and you don't quite get your balance in. So your toe does initially bump into it. As you start listening, concerned that you may have caught attention, you don't appear to be having anyone heading towards you at this time. You don't hear any footsteps approaching. Glancing over, and you do notice the woman still sitting over there. She's not paying any attention to you. The husband who you guys were consoling earlier is still sitting, but this time really not interacting with anyone. As you're listening in at the door, okay, so you start hearing two voices. You hear crying at first of who you assume is the daughter in there. She's crying. There's gasping for air and like silence for a second. And you hear her say, "Why did you do that?" And he's like, you hear a voice in response, "You gotta learn to keep it. Just what happens with your mother and I is none of your concern. You are an adult. You should know about this." And her crying continues. And he says, "You need to learn how to keep this under control." As it continues, you continue hearing the crying from the other side. It becomes a little bit more muffled at that point. That is what you've heard.
Okay. She's going to look back down the hallway towards where the woman was. Is she still not looking at me?
She appears to be more intrigued at the bottle of liquor that she has since procured.
And then the attendant is not looking at me.
No, he is very much concerned with the cleanup at this point.
Okay. I'll go back across the hall, and I know that both Petunia and Ulrika came out into the hallway, I believe.
They did.
And I will put my hands on them and actually try to push them back inside of the room and pull the door closed behind me.
Do Petunia and Ulrika go, or do you attempt to stay within the hallway?
Please don't touch. These clothes are very expensive, please. Took me so long to find them. I'll come with you, don't worry, I'll come with you. Molly, Arthur, come on. And then we'll just like gracefully walk over to the room again and try and not squish my clothes and
I would say Ulrika's probably like, what is happening? Like to Lydia, like
we need to go back inside just for a minute, please.
Lydia, you
Okay.
hear that familiar voice again, softer. Oh, it wasn't us. We didn't get to have any fun. And then it trails off.
And if they go inside the room, she's gonna pull the closed door and she's just gonna. Are the guys still all yell arguing?
They're still probably going towards the end of, oh, a saber instead. About that point in the conversation.
Okay. Well, in her usual very quiet voice, I don't know who's near the door, but she'll be like, "It's the daughter."
How do you know?
I heard them talking about it.
Positive
Well-
it's the daughter?
He said
Well-
that she needed to get it under control.
It does seem incriminating, I'd say. I guess we could still ask nicely.
You just need to be very careful, especially if she doesn't have it under control. Any sort of emotional outburst might cause a problem.
I see.
So I wasn't wrong when I drew my crossbow. I see. I see.
Yes, a typical Class 2 supernatural felony.
Okay, but if you draw these weapons first, that will anger them instantly.
Okay, maybe no weapons. Maybe we kick the door in and halt, criminal scum!
Okay, maybe no kicking the door in either. I don't think that's gonna get
Or
us
yelling.
off. Yep.
Halt,
Calm
criminal
voices.
scum!
No, maybe no
No,
calling them
no.
scum.
No accusations. It's just. Let me handle this. Thank you for the information, Lydia. I appreciate it. Let me just.
Arvid! I seem to be low on apple juice.
Please do not give him any more. Please, or I will confiscate that decanter.
Look, I just want to get back to the society. It's been a long week.
Arvid, picks the cane point up and points it at you. He kind of starts to list to one side, writes himself. You're not taking anything from me.
I understand you like to drink, but you at least keep it together like Rolf of some sort. Like, oh my goodness gracious me. Stay calm, Petunia, stay calm. Okay. I'm going to walk out there, and I am going to speak to them. If you'd like to come, please join me.
Yes, let's go.
But do not aggravate them in any way.
Eikthyrnir just kind of bumbles out the door and starts bouncing off some walls.
I'm gonna try and kind of like hold him like by the link our arms basically, and being like, okay, let's calm down.
Ah yes, rank and file, let us go.
No, okay, sure.
And Lydia will step out of the way of the door to let the loud folks through.
And I'm gonna go up to the door and knock gently.
Okay, so with a gentle knock, any very difficult to completely understand what's being said, but you heard conversation occurring on the other side of the door. It stops, and a sniffle. Footsteps coming to the door. It opens up, and you see the man standing before you once more. It was Clint Holm. He looks at you, and his expression is getting a little bit irritated. He just kind of puts his hand through his hair. Yes.
Hello, kind sir. I just wanted to come and check in on your daughter and see how she's doing. I was the one that found her earlier this morning.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for helping her this morning. She's fine. She's shaken up.
No, it's okay. Molly, do you want to check on your new friend? And I'm going to whisper again, kneel to Molly, and also to Arthur, and ask them again quietly to. Hopefully, the noise in my background from my friends is loud enough to cover the whisper, but I will whisper to my my animal friends again. Can you check out the girl if anything's weird with the girl?
And does anyone else approach the door?
Assuming Ulrika let me.
I would say I'm probably trying to like hold us back just a little bit.
Okay, I'm not gonna force it. I'm just kind of
Yeah.
at your whim at this point.
So, as the man was speaking with Petunia, and you kind of kneel down towards your pets and are speaking with them, and he kind of looks at you funny. What? Oh. Sure. And he kind of steps off to the side, like enough room for Molly to get through since she'd already been in there. And he looks very confused as to why a bird's following all of a sudden. He's like, is that bird okay?
No, yes, Arthur's completely fine, very friendly. My man was just meant to help those who are in need.
Fine, what, are you a doctor?
Oh no, I'd like to write. I just a massive empathetic person, you know, just I'm very big on the empathy, so I just wanted to help. Is there anything physically wrong with your daughter?
Physically? She's tired, shaken. Other than that, it's fine.
I see. Oh, we do have a doctor in our midst, actually. Ulrika. Would you like to come check out the girl? She seems to be had some medical problem wrong with her. I don't know. Just the father said something's wrong.
Sure, of course, yeah. I do have a little bit of training, and I'll kind of like trade off with Petunia, so somebody is watching.
I'll be okay.
Okay, so I'm
my animals react?
Make a manipulation check. One of you.
I'll do it.
Okay, cool.
Since I tried to convince him that she was a doctor. And again, I'm going to use my journalist talent. Yeah. Because I'm going.
Does she get any bonuses from me kind of being like going along with it?
I'll give a +1 for it. Your assistant.
Yeah. That is 9 dice. Let's hopefully I get 1.
Oh yeah.
1, 2. How many more do I need to roll? What's it? Okay, that is 3 successes.
Okay. So as you're saying that you have a doctor with you, his expression softens a little bit, and he kind of glances over his shoulder, and you hear him whisper, "It's like, might as well just get yourself together." And he opens the door. And so Ulrika is welcome to walk in. He kind of keeps it open. You see, let's see, the girl sitting now on the bed. She definitely appears to have been crying. She's still shaking a little bit. But now there's a small congregation around her of both Arthur and Molly on the ground in front of her, and she's just kind of looking at them.
Did they react in any way?
They're kind of looking at her, and Molly's wagging her tail.
Okay.
So Ulrika, what would you like to do?
Great question. I guess I'll try to like sit next to her, like still giving her enough space so she doesn't feel like, you know, cramped or like claustrophobic. So how are you feeling? Any physical problems, or is it just, you know, mostly emotional?
Emotional, I guess.
Did something happen specifically? You know, I mean, obviously you saw the dead body, but like, was there something else maybe? You know.
And you see her kind of like glance at the ground, and she like brings her knees up to her chest, and she's like trying to like hold them in as tight as possible. No, I just found her.
Does it seem like she's being truthful with me?
I would say let's make a. This one's going to be an observation check.
Okay. Okay, cool. Everybody give me good luck, please. Thank you. Guys, we didn't do it. We did not do it. But I will go ahead and push the roll, I guess.
Okay. So go ahead and re-roll those dice. Let me look at. You still had the frightened condition.
Correct.
Got it. So, luck, please.
Oh, there we go. We got 1-6.
1-6. Okay. So, as you are like watching her, and you feel like there's been all these moments so far over the last 24 hours where you're just not quite catching on to things that you normally would. You're starting to get a little frustrated with yourself. And you're kind of looking at her, and at first not really able to kind of tell if you feel like she's being honest or if she's concealing anything. You start feeling a little bit hopeless. You do take on the additional mental condition of hopeless for pushing the roll. However, just at the moment where she starts shaking a little bit more, and she's saying, "No, I just found her." Something changes with the cadence of her speech. You are doubtful of what she is saying.
Can I see Petunia from where I'm sitting?
If you were to look over, it would require you to kind of look from your right to your left, but you could see Petunia.
I'll kind of give Petunia a look like something is not right. What do you want to do? Sort of like letting her take the lead.
Okay, do I see the look? I get the look, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn to the father and I'm going to say, so I know it's been a very, very difficult day for you and your daughter. Maybe you could do with a drink to take the edge off. We'll look after her. Obviously, my friend here is a doctor. We'll take care of her. We'll help her ease out of the difficult situation. My friends down there, and I point towards the boys and Lydia. And I'll say that they have plenty of alcohol for you to take, just to have and relax and have a boisterous time. Just, I say, friends, and I holler over to everyone else and say, will you please take the kind gentleman for a drink in the second cart? He really needs it. Needs to take the edge off. You guys know how to do that.
Sure.
So Petunia,
Arvid
you make. Oh, go ahead, Arvid.
Oh, Arvid, with unnatural speed for someone his age and as crotchety as he is, canes over and extends the decanter, but slowly starts walking backwards.
Okay, it seems almost pointless to even have roll for this at this point, but go ahead and make one more manipulation check, Petunia. This is also going to be aided by Arvid.
Okay, so inspo, yeah? Okay, that is a 1. And then I need 2 more. Perfect. That is 2 successes.
Okay. So as you're speaking with him, and his expression has softened since you have had Ulrika go and speak with his daughter, and he's looking over Arvid, kind of extending out the decanter, but then walking backwards slowly. He kind of glances and is just like, okay, and he looks over at his daughter once more. It's like, it'll be okay. Just let me know if you need anything. I'll be right back. And he starts following. If Arvid is heading in that direction, if Eikthyrnir and Rolf are also wanting to go, he will follow.
Sure.
Lydia, are you doing anything at this time? Can I hear you?
Who is going to be the last in line going towards the, going with the dad?
So I believe Arvid would be going first, followed by the dad. So it's between Rolf and Eikthyrnir.
I was gonna say it'd probably be me.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Lydia will reach out to him and just touch his arm very gently and say, get as much information as you can out of him. And she's going to she's going to use her talent to bless him. So you have an expendable +2 on any of your future rolls one time.
Nice.
So keep that. And as the men are heading off towards the second car, Ulrika, Petunia, would you like to continue with discussing this with the girl?
Yeah, I'll kind of motion Petunia in and then like trade places to where I'm standing in the doorway. Try not to be very obvious that like I'm blocking them in, but very much so trying to make sure something is between the girl and like getting out.
I'm going to take a seat next to the girl, and I'm going to sit down and put my hand on her shoulder in a comforting way, and say, "Oh, darling, I'm so sorry of what you had to go through. I understand how difficult it must have been. What's your name, hun? I don't think I caught your name last night."
Oh, it's Lisa.
Oh, Lisa. Yes. I'm Petunia. This is Ulrika. And we're here to help you today. I know I'm no therapist or a physical doctor like my friend here, but I'm concerned for you, hun. I thought it'd be best if you were on your own and you could talk freely with no one holding you back. Just let go and kind of express yourself freely. No one's here to judge, darling.
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
What's bothering you? It seems that you seem to like be tight and tense. What's the matter? Speak to us. We're other women. We understand. Come on, just speak to us. It's okay. We understand.
Maybe make one more manipulation check.
Yep. Do I get a +1 with Ulrika there? Yes! Okay.
Smiling and nodding.
Just agreeing with the the whole thing. Oh, I got 1.
Ooh, okay. So, she's kind of looking at you and she takes in like a really deep breath and kind of like unclenches her really tight grip. And my dad and I were heading back to Uppsala, and it was just supposed to be a nice holiday. We were going back just to meet my mom at the festival, and they've been married for like 20 years, and he was cheating on her. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to express yourself. It's okay to talk about how you feel. I understand completely. My previous partner had hurt me in the same way, and let's just say it didn't end well. It was ugly. But I understand. How did you feel after? What did you do about this pain and this anguish?
He was only gone for a little bit. He was supposed to come back to the room, and we were, we're supposed to go to sleep. And I look outside and I see him, and he's with her.
Oh, so he was seeing the other woman on the floor.
He was seeing a lot of her. Yeah.
Ah, I'm so sorry. That's terrible. You must have felt so angry, betrayed.
yeah, and then this. She kind of starts glancing around. She's getting noticeably more emotional and looking. It just made me really mad, and then she got what was coming, but I can't say anymore. I'm sorry. I don't feel good.
It's okay, darling. It's okay.
Just breathe.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her a hug from like the side, like a hug, and yeah, just trying to calm her.
Okay. And as she is kind of breathing a bit more heavily, listening to both of you, trying to calm her, just go ahead and it's a little bit different, but let's try a medicine check.
Okay.
To help soothe her.
You're gonna help. Okay. So I just roll 4.
Yes,
my
whatever's in medicine and then whatever's in precision.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Ah, come on. That's 1. No, 2. That's 2. Oh, that's 2. My God.
Okay, so she's listening to both of you telling her to breathe in, breathe out. She starts to calm down a little bit. She's like, I don't know. I should probably go to my dad.
Oh, we'll come with you. We'll escort you. No worries. We'll take you. Yeah. You can relax out in the lounge. It'll be okay.
Okay. Yeah. As she's starting to stand up, back over to the gentlemen who are currently in the lounge, as we are putting it. You all are currently in there with Clint. What would you be like? What would you like to do at this time while it's taking place?
So they're talking to the girl in like another area, right?
Yes, they were still in their room.
Okay. Oh, so Clint, how you holding up?
I'm fine. Thanks, I guess.
Yeah. Would you like some apple juice?
As he says that, Arvid extends the decanter, pours some booze directly into the juice, and then offers it to Clint himself. Does Rolf have his bottle out? If so, he'll top off the bottle and then hand it to Clint.
Clint, have you ever seen a rifle?
A rifle?
Yes, ever been in the military?
I didn't serve, no, but I've seen rifles before.
Ah, have you seen one with a bayonet?
I guess not close up, no.
Right here! Ah! Here's mine!
And
Would you like to...
And he's kind of like standing there, just about to take a drink, and kind of a little caught off guard. I'm good. Thank you though.
Okay. Oh man, I'd really like to get back home.
Home?
Oh, and he just kind of loudly sets down his tankard because he's getting a little restless at this point.
And he kind of looks at you. No, same. I completely agree. This trip has gone on too long. I just need to go home.
Well, if you know what's going on, you could just tell us and we can get going, right?
What's going on? Train. Dead body. Drinking.
Precisely! What does the man win, Arvid?
Another drink.
I like your style!
If the next time that he sees Clint go for a drink, he'll kind of like push the bottom up just a little bit. He's trying to get him tipsy.
Understood. I would say with this kind of conversation back and forth, you would probably take several more drinks. Giving very odd glances over to Eikthyrnir throughout this. So, how long do you think this is going to take?
We could go speed it up. You want to go join the conversation?
With your, well, I'm just worried about your doctor friend.
Who? Oh, yes. What?
Doctor?
The
We don't have a doctor.
And he has one of his eyebrows kind of just go up a little bit. The woman that is in the room with my daughter right now, she's not a doctor?
The physician, right? I was thinking, the learned kind, the school with the certificate and the degree that doesn't actually mean anything. That kind of doctor. No, the one that facilitates health. Yes, of course she is.
Oh, he seems to like momentarily just calm down for a second. His eyebrows go down. Okay, no, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to be on edge at all. I just was a little confusing.
Of course. It's just, oh man, Arvid, I'm running low on apple juice again.
You so you are. He quickly wrenches the decanter away from Clint. And this time he's like very gentle. He's like, it's in his hands and he's shaking. And he like pours it out very slowly. You should be good. I'm still confused. One of the people we know is a physician?
Yes, quite. She's taking care of the young lady, and actually, should we go check on her? I'm sure Clint can man himself. He's a grown boy, of course.
I'll keep Clint company.
Okay, I'm gonna go check on was it your daughter? I don't remember your relation to her. I'm gonna go see how she's doing. I'll be back in a bit.
How far does that cable go?
Far enough.
Good. And so this isn't normally a thing that is given out. I'm just gonna give you an advantage for that because I really enjoyed that. So you get an additional +1 on the roll. But that's just for fun. As correct me if I'm wrong, Arvid, you were going to be walking back with to the room with Clint, back to where your associates are.
Yeah, I think he's gonna make him hang back just a little bit. Give Lindquist a moment to do whatever it is that he needs to do, and just kind of distract him with his advanced charm, if you will.
Right, and Lydia, during this time, I know you were kind of between the two groups. What would you like to be doing?
Okay, so they're all coming back in here again, is what I'm getting.
It does sound like it, yes. You hear the footsteps coming towards you, a very boisterous voice as well.
All right, she's feeling a little nervous. I think she's going to peek her head. Is the door to the room is closed, right?
It's still, unless, correct me if I'm wrong, Petunia, did you close it or did you keep it open?
I would have closed it for privacy, so she'd open up.
Yeah. Am I able to just open the door just a crack, just like very slow, the smallest crack, and tell them basically they're coming back?
Yes, and you would hear this, Ulrika and Petunia.
and then just keep an eye on the group as they're walking down the hall towards the room. But as soon as Clint comes into view, she's going to back away from the door.
And Petunia, Ulrika?
Would we have heard her back away from the door or no?
Were you trying to conceal your the sound of your footsteps? You would have heard it then.
Oh, okay, then from that I'd think that she moved for a reason. And I'll say out loud, I think we're expecting company, Ulrika. Are you done with your diagnosis?
Yes, just maybe need some bed rest. Maybe actually when we get off the train, you could come with us. We know some people who, have some resources that could really help, with that anger, with those, possibly uncomfortable emotions for you. You need to feel those emotions, but like in a healthy way.
Yeah, they may be
so-
negative, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't feel them. They're healthy. They're normal.
Mhm.
Like a therapist?
Of sorts, but I don't like to use that term necessarily, but
Counselor.
Okay, I guess. Yeah, sure.
well,
Amazing.
yeah,
Yes, amazing. That's perfect.
love that.
Okay, I think we should open the door. I think someone's coming.
And if you do open the door a bit wider, you do hear the footsteps of the approaching Clint, Arvid, Eikthyrnir, Rolf. Lydia would have been off to the side at this point. And Clint kind of walks in, opens up the door a little bit more. Okay, is everything? Are you done? Looking at Ulrika. Is everything okay?
Yes, but my sort of, professional recommendation is that once we get to Uppsala, we have some people that we could take her to, really help her sort of unpack these emotions, unpack the trauma that happened here as well. I think it would be a good idea, completely free of charge to you, you don't have to worry about that. She seems to think it would be a good idea as well.
And he kind of glances over towards Lisa, who looks down but is nodding her head. And okay, yeah, I guess we can go talk to your whoever to help her.
Counselor, as Petunia put it.
Yes, a very highly professionally trained counselor. Well regarded.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that sounds good. Is there... With all due respect, and he kind of looks over towards the men. Thank you for the drinks, gentlemen. That was very nice. I think he spilled a little bit, and he's kind of like pointing at Eikthyrnir, like a little bit of drink had gone down your shirt in the middle of the ruckus conversation. Yeah, I thank you again. I'd be more than willing to take Lisa to the counselors if you have any specific recommendations.
Yes, we'd personally show you. We'd love to show you personally. We've got nothing else to do, but when we arrive, we can definitely take you there as soon as we arrive.
And with all due respect, I do think I think we need some privacy. Probably need to get some rest.
Of course, I understand. No worries. Yes, if you need anything, please do let me know, or our physician here, or any other of our friends that can give you some company or some help.
Drink.
He nods. Lisa kind of looks over, over the knee. She's brought once more up to her chest, and she's looking at Petunia and Ulrika, kind of like does a little smile and nods, and then once more appears to relax a little bit. but the door is closed in front of you. And to be sensitive of time, and for expediency's sake, because of the decisions made so far in this adventure and the connection that was formed to the individual who, yes, was a Vaesen by themselves, you're able to get her in contact with other members of the society who are more familiar with how to deal with werewolves. One little known fact is there is a way to cure it. There is a way to return them back to a completely humanoid state by saying their true name as they are in the full moon.
Interesting.
And thanks to the connection you guys have made, that was able to be achieved. And that's where we're going to end it.
Yeah!
Yay! We did
Pacifist
it,
run.
guys.
The
None of us
pacifist run. Let's
died.
go.
Let's go.
I have to admit, I did not expect that this Nordic horror adventure would include interrogating a cat, drunkenly talking about weapons and brandishing them, or be solved by the power of friendship. That was unexpected, but
The power of
welcome.
friendships.
I'm
Yeah.
here for it.
So, thank you all so much for sticking with us and watching this, and thank you so much for helping us hit our goal of the $500 for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So it's amazing. This is so great. Just to be once more, we're going to go around the table virtually, if you will, kind of just say where people can find you. If you have any projects that are coming up you would like to plug, please do mention it all. Let's start with she who was reprising Ulrika.
Yes, hello. Again, my name is Rene or Cori. You can find me on Twitter, LOVDAYS _. Again, I just kind of tweet out about whatever, I'm interested in, but I would love to interact with you guys. And yeah, this was a blast. And shout out to any of my friends watching.
Perfect. And next up, Christine.
Hello everyone, I'm Christine. I was playing Lydia today. I'm a casual gamer and a tabletop regular here on the Initiative Order. You can catch me next Sunday playing Symbarum with Nate. And you can also find me here on Twitch at SlumberJane and on Instagram at slumber.jane. And thank you guys for coming out and helping us hit our goal. That is so amazing. You guys are great.
And next up, Rene.
Oh, hello everyone. My name is Rene Beauregard. I am one half of Dragon Rock RPG Design. You can find us on Twitter at Dragon Rock RPG and on Instagram at Dragon Rock RPG Design. You can also find me here occasionally every quarter running Mythical Melee, a competitive PvP Dungeons and Dragons game where I take a whole bunch of people who I think are awesome and I put them in a ring and I say, take these characters and fight each other. I love doing that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. And the next one we should be doing is probably around January, February, if the timing is correct. We'll see how that all goes. So thank you all for coming out again. Tomorrow we will be having a game at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Ray will be leading a game of Morkborg with some fantastic players. So please come and check that out.
Perfect. And George.
Hello, I'm George W. Ambush on most things. I'm George W. Ambush VO on Twitter. I play on Fateful Encounters every Monday. I do kind of a talk show podcast type thing on Thursdays, and I'm on Quest Vault every Friday. And I don't do personal streams at the moment because life, but check me out on all the other things. Say hello. I'll be so stoked to see you.
And Jess.
Hello, hello. You can find me at Rising Valkyrie on Instagram, at Rising Valkyrie J on Twitter, although the running joke is it's pretty much just tumbleweeds and crickets, so good luck with that. And you can find me on 2 series at the moment, every other week, coming back this Wednesday and this Saturday on the lovely That D'Angelo's channel. Playing Tayar on Wednesdays as Queen Eclipse. Running a nation, kinda, maybe, sorta. And also on Saturdays playing Erin Callisto as a vampire who is a biological research scientist who also dabbles in blood magic.
And last but certainly not least, Nolan.
My name's Nolan, Envy of the North on most social media, and I too am from the Fateful Encounters game. Monday, currently DMing. We'll be transitioning to a player role. Tuesday, we'll be joining as a player. Wednesday, sometimes guesting as a player and DMing. Thursday, the co-host with George over there as a sort of talk show chat interaction thing. Very busy, but we just love making D&D stuff for everybody to enjoy and just having a blast like we did with you all tonight while crushing that donation goal. I can't believe it.
Yes, absolutely. So I guess I'll round this out. My name is Brianna Flame. You can find me on the socials, Instagram and Twitter at Brianna Flame. Occasionally game master here, often channel organizer. And last but not least, an incredibly proud game master for this group. Thank you all so much for agreeing to take part in this and for making a story that I was very nervous about, very fun and very effortless. So I really appreciate you all and I look forward to eventually playing again. But aside from that, thank you all for watching and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.